All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February 10th meeting of the Garden Grove City Council. We're all in our aoyais this evening to celebrate our Lunar New Year. With that, we will go ahead and start with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation will be led by our Assistant City Manager, Matt West. And if I could have Councilwoman Yesenia Munitan lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Yes, please prepare yourself according to your faith. Dear Lord, as we begin this evening, let us pause for a moment of reflection. We ask, may our dialogue be respectful, our deliberations thoughtful, and our actions guided by a shared commitment to the common good. And Lord, as we always, ask your continued blessing upon those in need and your protection over all who serve, protect, and safeguard our community each day. We ask this in your name. Amen.
If you can turn, face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Madam Mayor, just for the record, I will be doing roll call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
I knew I forgot something. Let's do that.
Councilmember Nguyen. Councilmember Tran.
Here.
Councilmember Dovin. Present. Councilmember Muñetón.
Here.
Councilmember Aristegui.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bardigam.
Here.
And Mayor Klopfenstein.
Here, just so excited to get started. All right, that moves us into presentations this evening, and we have several. The first will be a community spotlight in recognition of employees celebrating 25 years of service with the City of Garden Grove.
Yes, and this evening our Assistant City Manager, Matt West, will provide or read that community spotlight.
Great.
Yes, this evening the Garden Grove City Council pays tribute to a distinguished group of individuals celebrating milestones with the City of Garden Grove who have dutifully served the community for 25, 30, and 35 years. We'll begin by mentioning honorees unable to be here tonight. 25-year employees, Ryan Burlith, Daniel Candelera, Helena El Susu, Mario Martinez Jr., Jesus Medina, and Dai Vu. 30-year employees, Ronald Dosher, Troy Haller, Charles Loeffler, Mark Lord, Linda Middendorf, Roderick Thurman, and Victor Jurgensen. And 35-year employees, Chris Escobar, Donald Jeff Hutchins, and Alejandro Valenzuela. At this time, I'd like to call forward 3 honorees that are present and share brief introductions. Please come up to the front as your name is called and stay up here for a group photo at the end. And introducing our 25-year honorees, Renee Camarena. Renee is a community services supervisor for the City of Garden Grove with a career rooted in a deep commitment to the community he proudly calls home. He began working for the city in 1999 as a recreation leader and advanced through multiple roles, including recreation specialist overseeing Atlantis Play Center and senior recreation specialist during the opening of the Sports and Recreation Center 2006. In 2007, Renee became a full-time community services coordinator, managing a wide range of recreation programs, facilities, and citywide special events. He was promoted to assistant supervisor over the Human Services Division in 2021, and most recently to community services supervisor over the Recreation Division. Born and raised in Garden Grove, Renee is a graduate of Santiago High School and a proud product of the city's park and recreation programs. Brian Dalton. Brian began his law enforcement career with the Garden Grove Police Department as a reserve officer in 1999 and was hired as a full-time police officer in 2002, where he was recognized as Rookie Officer of the Year. Over the years, he served in patrol and specialized units, including the Career Criminal Apprehension Team and the Gang Suppression Unit, and was promoted through the ranks based on his leadership, performance, and dedication. Brian was promoted to sergeant in 2016, lieutenant in 2020, captain in 2022, and currently serves as deputy chief, where he provides oversight of department operations and continues his longstanding commitment to the Garden Grove Police Department. Thank you. Angela Mendez. Angela began her career with the City of Garden Grove in 1999 as a senior account specialist in water billing. In 2007, she was promoted to Principal Account Specialist and became a key resource for accounts receiving billing, including damage cost recovery, grants, rents, and special events. In addition to her billing responsibilities, Angela supports daily water billing operations and helps ensure accurate processing of payments and accounts. Her dedication, attention to detail, and positive working relationship make her an invaluable asset to the city. At this time, the mayor and city council would like to present each of these distinguished individuals with a memento in appreciation of their many wonderful years of dedicated service to the city of Garden Grove. The city is proud of their accomplishments and looks forward to many more years of success in their careers. Congratulations.
You can step up here for a picture.
Can we look this way?
Congratulations again to all the employees. What an amazing legacy we have. So many people dedicated to Garden Grove. It's wonderful to see. All right, with that, we're going to pull a few items out of order. Items 3 and 4 from the consent calendar. One is a proclamation celebrating February's Black History Month, and the other is a proclamation in celebration of the upcoming Lunar New Year. Call for a motion if I could.
Second.
Motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, and I believe our Assistant City Manager will provide some comments.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will proceed to read the proclamation and then present it to the distinguished Bobby McDonald here in the audience. All right, proclamation, February is Black History Month. Whereas, during the month of February, the nation celebrates the profound and enduring contributions of African Americans to our nation's history, culture, and identity. Black History Month serves to recognize and honor the many ways African Americans have shaped and continue to shape the economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development of the United States. Whereas, the 2026 national theme for Black History Month, A Century of Black History Commemorations, highlights the evolution and significance of these annual observances and examines how they have deepened understanding and progress for Black people in the modern world. Whereas Black Americans, including business owners, labor leaders, educators, essential workers, chief executive officers, and countless others, have made and continue to make significant contributions to our local communities, the state of California, and the nation. Whereas the observance of Black History Month acknowledges the achievements, struggles, and resilience of African Americans across all fields of endeavor, while encouraging continued advocacy for equity of Black Americans. And whereas the city of Garden Grove is proud to be an inclusive community that values diversity and is committed to respecting and recognizing the contributions of all individuals at the local, state, national, and global levels. Now, therefore, the Garden Grove City Council does hereby proclaim the month of February 2026 as Black History Month at Garden Grove and encourages all to celebrate the enduring contributions, history, and culture of Black Americans to our community and nation.
All directions, that's all. Thank you. Oh, wow, that's pretty. Thank you so much. Okay. it's supposed to be a celebration of the century. We're not quite there yet. The Black Chamber, in 2 weeks, will be 42 years here in the county.
That's awesome.
So we're getting there. We're getting there, all right. Again, thank you for this proclamation and for recognizing Black History Month. Y'all do it with style every year. It's always a joy to come in and get the phone call. Hey, show up, yeah. But y'all are great. And I really, really deeply appreciate it because it's sincere. And thank you. A couple notes. Like I said, the Black Chamber is 42 years old in a couple weeks. But it's also the 15th anniversary of the building of the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial in Washington, D.C. And I bring that up because there's several thousand facts that goes along with this, but the one that really, really stands out to me from a community standpoint is that it took 25 years and $270 million to build that monument on the mall. Not one dime, not $1 came from the federal government. It came from the community and the public that built the Martin Luther King Memorial, which I think is unbelievable. Again, thank you so much for this. Appreciate you recognizing Black History Month. And looking forward to see it again next year. No, but seriously, thank you so much for all you do. This is so neat. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll go back to presentations here. We also have item number 2. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I apologize. Thank you, George. We've acknowledged item 3, now we have item 4, and I'm going to ask my council colleague, Joe Dovin, to please read the proclamation for our Lunar New Year this year.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Honorable Council members. On behalf of the Council and Mayor, I proclaim celebrating February 17, 2026 as Lunar New Year. Whereas the City of Garden Grove enjoys the privilege of a rich cultural diversity, including the internationally recognized Little Saigon. Whereas Little Saigon is home to one of the largest Vietnamese American communities in the world and shares its rich and vibrant cultural heritage with the entire region. Whereas Tet, also known as the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, is one of the most important and widely celebrated holidays in Vietnamese culture. Whereas Tet Nguyen Dan, meaning feast of the first morning of the first day, celebrates the arrival of spring and the beginning of a new year based on the Vietnamese lunar calendar. Whereas the year 2026 is recognized as the year of the horse, symbolizing energy, strength, independence, renewal, and those born in the year of the horse are believed to be enthusiastic, hardworking, and spirited. Whereas Tet is a time to honor ancestors, share traditional foods, enjoy family reunions, and reflect on the past year while welcoming a new year filled with hope for health, happiness, and prosperity. Now therefore, the Garden Grove City Council does hereby proclaim that February 17, 2026 be recognized in the City of Garden Grove as the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, and the community is encouraged to join in celebrating this occasion with wishes for good health, happiness, and prosperity for all. Thank you for the distinguished honor to represent and read this proclamation.
Thank you very much. All right, that will take us to presentation item number 2.
Presentation item number 2 this evening is the Orange County Fire Authority 2025 Year-End Report as presented by Division Chief Covey.
Thank you, Mayor Klopfenstein and Honorable Council. I presented this report to the Central Management Team meeting last week, and the city manager agreed that it was worthwhile to bring to you and share with you what's been going on with your firefighters in your city as well as in the OCFA and the division. You can see by our motto, in service to others, and my motto of our communities, our people, our responsibility, we really hold this close to our heart of serving your residents to the best of our ability. And in this report, I'm going to highlight some stories that has made Chief McGovern, our doctor, EMS Dr. Bobko, and myself extremely proud. And I'm going to share with you some of those stories that we would like truly to highlight what's been going on in your city with your firefighters. So Chief McGovern did assume the helm this past month as the interim fire chief, as Chief Hennessy was selected as the first national fire chief in consolidating the 5 fire departments across the country into one fire department, the federal fire department. So Chief McGovern, former Garden Grove fire chief, is now the interim fire chief for OCFA. And he just recently put out this a memo to all of us. And in there, I wanted to highlight, something that he was really holding true is through trust, transparent communication, and collaboration. That's the North Star by which I hope to continue working with all of you to lead us forward. We're all really excited to have him as our interim fire chief as we determine whether who's going to be our next full-time fire chief. And in OCFA, we had a busy year last year, 183,865 responses. That's up about 3 to 4%. Of those, 48,000 being all hazard, 132,000 being EMS responses. For OCFA Division 1, as a reminder, I supervise fire services in 4 cities, Westminster, Seal Beach, Los Alamitos, and Garden Grove, plus the unincorporated Rossmore and Midway City. And I do that with 14 fire stations, about 190 total personnel. My division is the busiest division in OCFA. We ran over 32,500 calls last year. A very busy division, but not just on 911 incidents. I know this rings pretty close to you, Mayor Klopfenstein. We're involved in 205 community events. So it's not just about 911 calls, right? It's getting out, being with the community and engaging and letting them know who their firefighters are. And then we also had over 3,000 fire prevention actions. That's inspections and new plan permits, new construction, getting businesses in service, all that kinds of stuff. In Garden Grove specific, we ran 15,577 calls. That was fairly flat from last year. I had some thoughts on why that may or may not have happened in comparison to other areas, but it remained relatively flat this past year after fairly routinely being a 1 to 3% increase in total calls. We had 364 fires, 12,000 medical aids, and over 3,000 other service calls. On a per capita basis, we run about 0.09 incidents per capita. So almost a call for every 1,000 people is what we run in this city. The average OCFA city is about 0.07. So it's a little bit busier than our average OCFA city. For the days of the week and times of the day, pretty straightforward across. You would say, oh, is there a busier day than others? As you can see, on average, it's pretty straightforward across a very routine number of calls per day. But then where it gets busy is between 7 and 9 p.m. is our busiest hours, obviously when people are the most active. And then this is a breakdown of looking at your city. So the top left map are the fires that occurred in Garden Grove this past year. As a director of Writing knows, I'm pretty frequently on text with him and the city manager, keeping you updated on what's going on so that you are able to speak to your residents with knowledge, and hopefully that is making it to you, and you appreciate the efforts to keep you informed so you're not surprised. On the lower right-hand side is all the EMS incidents. You can see where areas where deeper, stronger concentrations or more calls in that general area. The busiest corridor continues to be that Brookers corridor, and that Garden Grove Boulevard corridor is our busiest areas pretty consistently. Engine 82 was our 3rd busiest fire engine in all of OCFA last year. That's out of 79 fire stations. So it's a very busy unit in that Brookers corridor. Besides all the structural fires, traffic collisions, and hazard materials incidents, the past few years I've been highlighting those and showing those. The crews have done outstanding work in mitigating all of those and managing them. But really what I wanted to focus on this year is this. And this is something Dr. Bob Cope, myself, the agency is incredibly proud of. Return of spontaneous circulation, ROSC. That's what we strive for. Okay, what that means is when someone is in full arrest, in my division alone, that's 27 times a month we respond on somebody in full arrest. Our goal is to bring them back to life, right? We want to go out and save lives. Out of that, the national average is about 23, 24, 25% of the time people will get pulses back due to the efforts of the 911 response. Our paramedics are 29 to 31% on average in getting pulses back. So we're beating the national standard of what folks are able to do out there, and I'm super proud of that. Out of the 321 arrests, 220 times we took action on them. The other ones we declared dead in the field. Out of those, 64 times we got pulses back. That's just an incredible thing to think about, how often your paramedics are truly saving lives. Some of my firefighters may never go through a career and save someone from a fire, but I guarantee you they're saving somebody on these EMS calls. Here's some examples. I just recently started pulling this stuff. Just because it started resonating with, especially when the statistic came out of how well they're doing. On September 25th, Truck 81 right here saved a 1-year-old in full arrest. That child left the hospital, was discharged normal. They did an incredible job. And just for a second here, I want to show you what it sounds like for our dispatchers who answer every one of these calls. They took over 250,000 911 calls last year. And is it playing? Should be playing. Did it come up, Rob? Our dispatchers have refined the way they're processing 911 calls, and they're beating the national model by 10 seconds. They're getting calls out faster than what the national expectation is. So this one is an incredible, listening to our dispatcher calmly talk to this mom how to do CPR on the spot on her 1-year-old.
Wow.
And contribute to the success of, if we don't get it, we don't get it. Contribute to the success of the infant surviving. On December 22nd, units responded to a 37-year-old female turning blue with her eyes, head rolling back. That person was choking on some large pieces of steak. The paramedics got there as she was going into full arrest, and were able to use this tool we have to be able to go reach down into the trachea and remove the piece of steak. And immediately she started breathing again, turning back to normal color, and she was almost normal by the time it got to the hospital. Another pediatric call was a choking victim on one of our school campus, one of our special needs children. Unfortunately, didn't eat right on that one, and also choked out. The staff started CPR on her, and paramedics came in. Same thing with the McGill forceps, pulled out like 5 or 6 different pieces of stuff to clear the airway. And again, by the time we got him to the hospital, he was almost back to his normal. And just a couple weeks ago, Engine 84 over on the west side over in, I keep wanting to say director, but council member right again, side of town, a male collapsed on a soccer field and went into full arrest. Bystanders initiated CPR. Engine 84 arrived on scene, defibrillated the patient, converted him into pulses again, and that patient was breathing on his own and talking before we got him to the hospital. So that's the type of work that's going on. And what I want to emphasize, in almost all of these cases, you see bystander CPR. So I want to remind this dais here, all of our staff members, and most importantly, the public, to know how to do CPR. We've talked about drowning prevention and all that, but I have personally saved a friend of mine that collapsed on a basketball court because I knew CPR, and I could buy that bridge of time between collapse and 911 activated and paramedics getting there. Someone needs to give them the oxygen to maintain the opportunity for the paramedics to get there and save a life. So I really encourage everybody listening to this to take a CPR class. You never know when it'll matter, and it could really make a difference. Community risk reduction, our fire prevention side of the shop, they had 1,392 actions in the city specifically, supporting new construction plan reviews, annual inspections, all your fireworks stands. We had 28 fireworks stands last year, inspecting your high rises and all your special event permits. As you know, it's a very active city, and a lot of those require permits. So supporting those to make sure those events go off safe. From the community education side, Elizabeth Denny is my community ed specialist, and she supported 85 community events in Garden Grove alone. So super busy supporting everybody from the community side, making sure we're out there. One of the big things, it's really good for especially the younger children to meet us in this type of setting, because when there's structure fires and we come in sounding like Darth Vader breathing on a breathing apparatus, they like to hide from us because they're scared. So that lowers their anxiety, and when we're coming in to save them, they're not going to hide from us. We can get them and get them out as quick as possible. So some of the accomplishments in your city alone, we got a new engine 84, truck 81, and truck 85. Real excited to put that new apparatus in service at all your stations. Placing a lot of new companies across the department. We remodeled a station in Mission Viejo. We're adding a station in Laguna Woods. We put brand new cardiac monitors and ADs on all of our equipment, so it's all state of the art. We're all getting state-of-the-art command vehicles for our command and control. All of our breathing apparatus was replaced this year with the best top-of-the-line breathing apparatus. I want to point out a lot of those things are done through grant funds. Garden Grove is a cash contract city. We take that to heart, as Director Brody going to know from his side of the shop over here. In getting those grant funds secured helps us with managing the costs that get put to the cities. So a lot of those things, the ADs, the breathing apparatus and stuff like that, we're able to cover a lot of the costs through grant funds to keep the costs down for you, making sure to respect dollars are important across the whole city. One of the things I spearheaded was changing the way we do company officer command and control on fire grounds with radios, how we talk on the radios, what we do. I got second radios for all of our members and improved our safety online. PFAS is a big issue in the fire service with cancer as an epidemic. So we've enrolled in a UCI supporting them in a study to see how bad these exposures like PFAS and or some of the bigger fires that we're dealing with, like Palisades, how much it's affected us and keeping us safe from cancer. Like I talked about, the command center just reduced our total call volume by 10 seconds. 99 point some odd % of the time we're beating the national average. So they do a really good job with that. So looking forward to 2026, we're going to support the city with the Fire Station 81 movement for the new PD building. I'm super excited for them to get their new building. We have a plan in place. I provided you with an overview of that at your city council retreat. We are going to move Truck 81 over to Fire Station 86, the battalion chief over to Fire Station 82, and my staff and I will be moved over to the police annex building. We have a great plan in place. We maintain our 5-minute coverage with the fire emergency response. While it's not ideal, but those facilities will house everybody, and we can still maintain that 5-minute drive time and get resources on scene as quick as possible. We'll look forward to bouncing back to 81 as soon as that's done, but we have a good plan in place to support emergency services for you. Working with the city to work on facility upgrade plans, strategic, not only now, but into the future. I've been having a lot of conversations with your city manager about that. I think that meets the council direction you had at your city manager retreat about being forward thinking and strategic, having some of those conversations so that we're in that same page. I'm facilitating a training agreement with JFRTB to do a whole bunch of training on base there, including live fire wildland training, something that's hard to come by, especially we don't have a lot of open land in Orange County. So get our firefighters safe by getting some live fire scenarios. New chainsaws across the whole department, a whole bunch of new apparatus and equipment. But one of the big ones we're looking into is wildland urban interface respirators to protect our firefighters during those large conflagration incidents, or even during mop-up operations on our local structure fires like that, to reduce our exposure and protect our lungs and try to make an impact on the cancer epidemic that's hitting the fire service. The last thing I want to speak about today, we do have our Orange County Fire Authority 18th Best and Bravest Award Ceremony coming up on Friday, May 29th. You're all encouraged and welcome to attend. We put on a really good show, recognizing the guys and gals that have done really good work out for us. And then also, I'm in charge of this year, the OCFA Open House in 2026 on March 14th. So it's just 5 weeks away. So last year we had about 7,500 people. We're expecting 8,000 plus this year. It's been a real success and hit. So I encourage any of the residents in the community that want to go. And if any of you guys want to go, please let me know and I'll make sure you're taken care of. And that's the end of my report. I'm available for any questions.
Just a little busy.
That's been busy. Thank you.
We really appreciate this report. It's wonderful to be able to kind of just overview and show the community all that's going on. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. And that open house is a great event. It's a wonderful opportunity for the community to really get out and sort of touch and feel and see all that OCFA really is and so forth. So thank you again. Thank you very much. Colleagues, any comments or questions?
Madam
Thank
Mayor.
you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, well, we'll start with Councilman Chen and then we'll go to George and then to Cindy.
I just want to thank you so much for the presentation. I want to extend that gratitude to the department, let them know how grateful we are for all the service that they do. It's amazing everything that you all do for the community, and I see you all out there every single day fighting. So thank you, thank you. I have been to the open house. My kids really enjoy that as well. So that's something that we're looking forward this year. So if anybody wants to be part of that, take your kiddos to this. Is an amazing opportunity. They also teach the children, like, what would you do in case of an emergency? What was the first step? What do you do next? And it's really an engaging opportunity, and also for them to have that education as to regards what else do you do. And thank you so much for your presentation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's a great plug for them. We have a helicopter there. We have our search and rescue canines there. We have an agility course for the kids to run around in. It is really an intended event for the kids, so thank you.
Yeah, OCFA continues to step up every year. I've been as a director. I just see how every year they seem to outdo the year before as far as response time reduction. Doing more with less when it comes to personnel in many cases, not being able to promote, whatnot. So, but OCFA continues to step up every year. That open house, I recommend everyone go to it. You're going to see a lot of cool stuff there. If you've got teenagers, bring them. It's a good eye-opening experience. They might decide to go for a career in the fire service. Who knows? But the best and bravest awards. It's really an eye opener. I've gone to the last two, and to see just normal folks in the community who get recognized for just going above and beyond, outstanding. Last year there was some teenagers who rescued a couple from an engulfed car fire, and I mean these were just kids, normal kids going about their day, see an accident, fully engulfed, and they just step to, and to see and hear these stories, it's really, really kind of cool. So also, if you're aware of any of those stories, send them. I'm sure Chief Covey would already be aware of them, but if not, send them an email and let them be aware of the bravery shown by, the local community and also the firefighters. So anyway, I just want to thank you for all your efforts, and we look forward to another year.
I'm trying to bring a member of your community council. He's kind of being shy, but he played a significant role in us rescuing a gentleman that was being swept away in one of the flood control channels in our previous rainstorm. A 19-year-old kid, bad word there, but he was able to throw a rope down and hold this guy in place until we got there and effected the rescue, and unquestionably to me saved that guy's life. So I'm trying to get him to come to council and get recognized for his efforts, but he's kind of being shy. So more to follow.
Love
We'll
that.
invite
You
him
have
out
some great people in town too.
We'll invite him out to coffee, and I'll put an arm twist on him.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
I also want to say thank you because actually my dad had to go to emergency and you guys came. The response time was amazing, and I witnessed that when I did the ride along with the station on Western. I brought the food for the day before Thanksgiving to treat the troop, but the minute the bell rang, we drop off everything. And that's why we keep reheat the food, and the bread turned hard. But anyway, I just want to say that I witnessed that the team took it very seriously, and when they interface with the people that in emergency situation, they were kind, they were respectful, and so make people feel the comfort. And so I just want to take the opportunity to remind that. And thank you for the work that you do. Earlier you mentioned about the response time was better than the national average. That's it all. So thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you so much for providing all this wonderful data to us, especially for highlighting where the highest instance corridors are in our city. I think we know that there's definitely room for improvement in some of the facilities that we have. So thank you for keeping at the forefront of our minds, especially that we have some work to do, especially for Station 80 along Brookhurst and Reading. So hopefully, as part of us being forward-thinking, we'll be able to cooperate and collaborate in making sure that you guys get the resources you need to ensure that you continue to be fast-acting in that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Covey, for a good, great representation. I myself have to give you a great compliment for the OC Fire Authority. I heard many compliments from my constituents about how fast and great service that you guys been doing. And I myself have experience that I was able to come to Station 85, spend a day. That was an exciting day. They were nice, respectful, and they are very friendly with me. I learned a lot from what you guys are doing, and appreciate it. And I can see that OCFA is doing great, more and more every year. And we promise we'll do anything to support you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Chief. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, that will take us into oral communication this evening.
Yes, this evening we will begin with Stephen McIntosh.
Hello, councilors. I was wanting to speak for a moment on item 8 for consideration. I'm if this is the right time to do so. I wanted to express my opposition to prohibiting the sale of kratom in the city. I'm a chronic pain patient. I'm in pain every day of my life. I had a massive heart attack like the chief was talking about. Flatline, was down for 4 minutes. Severe damage. They did revive me, and I'm thankful for that, but it broke ribs, and I'm in constant pain now. Unfortunately, I don't get adequate pain management through my doctor. I only can see the ones that my wife's insurance covers. Like a lot of people here don't have an infinite amount of choice. And I just want everyone to know just how critically important this is to some of the most disadvantaged members of the community who are in extreme levels of pain, who don't do this for fun, who for everything else has failed, like myself, or just isn't available to them even if it does exist. I sent an email, so none of this should be new, but what I would suggest instead of an outright prohibition is to do what Assembly Bill 1088 would do, which is to restrict sales to those 21 and over and limit dangerously synthesized artificial products. Kratom's been used in Southeast Asia, particularly in Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia, to some extent Vietnam, but not nearly as much, for thousands of years with very little issue. So again, I would just hope that you would carefully consider substituting with this option. That's exactly what Orange County Board of Supervisors has done. Restrict adults, prohibit products attractive to children, set the limit on dangerously synthesized products. And that's all I have to say. I'll be conscious of your time, and I wish everyone here a happy Lunar New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Joel Silverthorne.
Thank you for letting me hear from me today about this. Number 8, I asked to put saying yes on number 8, please. I'm trying to bring this to it. It's going across the country. California has to be done by each city. The kratom and the 7-OH, it's not approved by the FDA by any for any use. You know, people are in pain, and if it's not approved by the FDA for the use. If you have any questions about we have the two products, and just prohibiting the kratom, I think the doctor can work with the individuals to answer those questions, or they can get malpractice suit, I guess. But the kratom is not for that. The loophole, the challenges on the loophole and the ways I talked to the two ER, Garden Grove ER, and couldn't get through to the doctor. They can't make a comment on that because it's all confidential, but they would love to see less people in there. The person on the phone said, I don't know if it was a nurse secretary or something. If you have any about the other one was the nitrous oxide. If I can give you this flyer. Pass these out. I don't think I have enough there. But, the people are getting increased use of it. They are it's a don't ask, don't tell loophole. In the smoke shops, if you ban it, just in the smoke shops for sale, like they're doing around the country and in the state. Each city has to do it themselves. On the product itself, the nitrous oxide says right on the please, not for recreational use. Well, where are they selling it? In the smoke shops. And that's what they're asking if they don't sell it. It's like any drug, the drug pusher, the drug cartel. No, you arrest the person using it.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time is up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks
Next
a lot, I
week-
appreciate it.
Next, we have Kelly Price.
Good evening. It's so nice to be here with you tonight. I am Kelly Price. I've lived in Garden Grove since 1985 when my husband and young son moved here, and I'm a proud member of District 2, so hooray. But I am here tonight as a representative for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I get to invite you on behalf of the local leadership and the over 3,000 members of our church in the Garden Grove area to come to a special preview open house of the Yorba Linda Temple that is a new building being built in Yorba Linda. While our meeting houses are open for everybody anytime, our temples are sacred places, and once they're dedicated, only members in good standing are allowed to go inside. But before they're dedicated, we are excited to be able to invite everyone to come and tour them. And so because you are our local leaders and are important to all of us, and we appreciate all you do for us in our city, we have set aside 3 days for a preview visit where it won't be quite as crowded. The open house will go through the end of April and through May, but these 3 days are so you can have a little more time, be able to talk about what's happening there and learn a little more. And I have saved the date because we just learned when it will be open and the days of the special tours. I've also given you my business card, And so if you have any questions, you can call me. This just has a QR code for a video that tells you what open houses are like in general. When you get your official invitation, it will have the link for you to make a reservation. So if you wanted to go as a group, or if you just wanted to go on your own, I will be there anytime you would like to attend and to be able to introduce you to the people there. And thank you very much. I hope to see you there. We all do. And also just a quick thank you for reinstating the mayor's prayer breakfast. I grew up with Bruce Broadwater and know and love him, and I know he would be very happy that that tradition has started up again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And all of you are invited too. You're on my invitation list.
Thank you.
Next, we have Abdullah Mamoon.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Abdullah Mamoon. I'm actually the owner of Authentic Kratom. I actually sent out an email to pretty much all of you, so hopefully you all had a chance to take a look at it. And today, what I brought, my email already kind of details about the Bill AB 1088, California Bill SB 758. These are more of a reasonable regulations that we prefer that the Garden Grove looks into. What I brought here is that I guess your bill is saying that you guys wanted to ban the kratom sale of kratom, all forms of kratom. There is a confusion. So the kratom actually has two main alkaloids. There is a 7-hydroxymetrogenine and metrogenine. So metrogenine typically, obviously, is pretty good. Typically in the kratom, which is about 1.5%, 2%, whatever. But there is a 7-hydroxymetrogenine, which is another alkaloid of kratom. It's very, very minimal. I have the lab test results right here. I can pass it out to you, all of you, which is very minimal. It's so what this company, there's a couple of years ago, this company, they came up with this product. It's called 7-OH. And what they're doing is they're mimicking that one alkaloid of the kratom, which is the 7-OH, and enhancing it, where you find only 0.0003, whatever the percentage, they're multiplying that by hundreds. So now they have 15 milligrams of pills to 120 milligrams of pill. What I gave it to her is 1 kilograms of kratom powder, natural kratom. This is all you guys are after. Look, that's it. Okay? All you take is typically 1 teaspoon of that, mix it with coffee, make a cup of tea with it, and that's it. And this is what Steve was talking about. So what those companies are doing, they're chemically enhancing the product, and they're creating those pills. So 15 milligrams of capsule or tablets of the 7-OH product is 10 times of that powder that I gave to her. That's not humanly possible for someone to consume that much powder. Imagine they're putting that into a tablet and giving it to somebody to consume that. So all I'm asking you guys to look into regulating natural kratom, which would, if you can put an age requirement, 21 plus. Obviously, product has to be labeled. If you look at my product, this is what a regulated kratom looks like. I have labels on the back of the products, the age minimum age requirements, the lab tested results on the back of the products, and the instruction on how to take it, how much to take it, and what not to exceed. If you guys look into Bill AB 1088, you will see pretty much my products comply with all of that. So if you have any question, please feel free to let me know. Email me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Nicole Jaimes.
All right, hello. Got 3 things in 3 minutes. Let's see if I could fit it. So the first one is the virtue signaling of the information resource links to nowhere and the overall hypocrisy of the movement. So the reason why I kind of bring it up is because imagine bringing a whole bunch of people in, because you want to make a whole bunch of change, and you get so happy that it's up there that you don't even check where anything goes. It's virtue signaling, or maybe a popularity contest to the bottom. Going over next at the study session that I went to, right, there's some more fear porn over, there's ICE in my community. Well, that's, being the loudest person there doesn't really mean anything. So what's the data behind that, right? And I deal with data in my job. So which businesses? How often? What is the financial impact felt? How many out of your district versus all the districts are people going in? Is it actually making a problem? Because anyone could yell all day long, but either you have the data to support your argument or you just want to be loud and useless. And the last one was about smoking in the park. So I want to go over briefly kind of what happened yesterday with me and my daughter. And she's in Girl Scouts. We sell Girl Scout cookies. We've been going to the same location, Ralph Euclid and Chapman, for years. We've had homeless people probably for the last 5 years. It's nothing new. They're usually pretty respectful. They engage with myself and not my child. Unlike last night, where this lady kept wanting to engage with my child. It was an issue. I called PD. Over 20 minutes later, they came. She walked down. I thought we were done. But no, she comes back. And again, wanting to engage with my child. And then, so I got a store employee, can you get your manager? They come and they get her. They actually move her, like, let's go down here. You have to go down here. And what does she do? She comes back. And so again, he's like, you can't stay here. You can't be by them. You can't speak to this child. You need to go down here. And you know what she says? She says no. She's not going to do it. So he calls PD. Hour and 30, 40 minutes later, where are they? They don't come. But you want to ticket people for smoking in a park, right? Yet you're homeless. Based off your studies and everything, homeless has been an issue. She was clearly homeless. She wanted to engage with the minor child, and you want to make everything better. She actually goes inside Ralph's and decides to lay down on the floor. So she stops being a problem for myself, and now she's a problem for everybody who's shopping. Do you want to go grocery shopping and have people camping inside the store, over by your produce, over by whatever you need to go, or you just want to go get your shopping, get done? Fix the issues you already have before you vote on something and want to ticket us for something else. Fix your homeless in your community before you add anything else. Think, please. Thank you.
Next, we have Nicholas Tibbs.
Mayor Klopfenstein, members of the council, I'd like to bring, first off, you had a study session yesterday that I think went 5 or 6 hours. You've had other study sessions. I'm going to say the same thing to the council that I've said to the school board, which is the study sessions have important information for the community. They should be recorded either audibly and or visually with video. I've been asking the school board, they meet in secret more or less in a study session at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and no one is there who can attend, very few people, because they're at work. So the same thing with your study sessions. Not everybody can come. So why not put on the agenda to ask the staff, the city manager, to record them? Now, Omar may say, well, it's not required. You don't have to do it. Just because you don't have to record it doesn't mean you can't. So in the interest of transparency and community engagement and civic engagement, please put forward on the agenda or request that the study sessions be recorded so other people can see it who can't maybe be there in person. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Now let's go to the other thing. It takes a village to raise a child. I've been asking the school board, I've been asking this city council, both entities, to do more to protect our young people from the harmful effects of social media, addiction, and so on. You have Surgeon General advisories that have come out on this, and then in today's Orange County Register, I'm giving you a copy, and I emailed it to each of you this evening, an article in the Orange County Register about the lawsuit of 40 states suing Meta and other social media companies because this is harmful to the children. So a year ago, a little less than a year ago, Orange County Board of Health in North Carolina passed a resolution documented by a multitude of footnotes. I have given this to you multiple times in multiple emails, and I said, this is a no-brainer. Why don't you adopt this as a resolution so that the community can do a better job of protecting the children? I'll be going to the Orange County Board of Supervisors. I'll be going again to the school board asking them to do the same thing. So this is information to bring awareness to help protect the children. Secondly, we need to reduce crime and improve the economy. How do we do that? By bringing skilled trades. So do what the city of Buena Park did. They had a construction career and apprenticeship resource fair. I've emailed that to you multiple times. Can somebody here on this council please request that it be on the agenda so that we can have a really great event? We have a shortage of skilled workers in this country and in this community. So we can employ people who, and there's an article in the Register that, or in MSN today that came out about that, which I've included in the email. So thank you for listening. Please put these things on the agenda. Thank you.
Next, we have Tony Flores.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff. I'm Tony Flores. Thank you to those folks that showed up to the West Garden Grove Little League Parade and the West Garden Grove softball. I think you folks had a good time. I saw District 6 and 5 they're representing, having a good time. Everybody was all good. Nobody concerned about ice, right? You all had a good time. Brought your families. Everybody's waving. It was good. Yesenia, this is like our third meeting over the week, last 4 days. Saturday, yesterday, and today. Don't worry, your husband, he won't think that we're having anything going on, so just tell him we're all good, okay? We're all right. Nothing's happening there. Information Services Hub. Second request to add the self-deportation. Please take action on that. You got the email. It's on there. We're doing other things for the illegal immigrants. Do it. Give them some space to self-deport. I think it's fair. I think it's reasonable. We don't want to go get an attorney to get that pushed through. Also on the cyber harassment, just because the other council members don't agree with what some of you folks are saying, there's really no reason to put their images on there with their information, not with their consent. It just doesn't work. PC 653.2 and Civil Code 17089 strictly prohibits that. I've attached it to the email that I sent this morning. Please read through that. We need to take action on that as well. That happened also too. The Vietnamese or Viet Rice folks did that on November 12th when council members didn't agree or didn't vote with the anti-ICE resolution, and here it is right here. Okay, I think they're in violation of these codes as well. In fact, I think I learned a new term today: civil conspiracy. They may be in violation of that. We'll be touching on that. But the idea is to make sure that we stay civil. And again, just because other council members don't agree with it, when you post it on your social media platforms, some of your more unhinged folks may take that as a signal to go ahead and do something stupid, which we don't need. And we've already asked the city manager to investigate it. We've asked our city attorney to investigate it. If something should happen unintended to any of our council members because of something like this, because of these postings, punitive damages may be coming up. And I mentioned yesterday, you know, we all want to retire. You have your retirement set up, but if it hits your punitive damages, your retirement plans may change. So you need to take action on this as well. Please consider, even though we don't agree with each other on certain things, no need to attack. You folks are there in West Garden Grove Little League. There was no barriers between us. You weren't accosted. I had every chance to sit there and say, hey, you know, get in your faces. Didn't do that. Could have, but I didn't. Why? Because I'm not stupid. In any case, please consider that. Have a good evening. Oh, happy Lunar New Year.
Mayor, that concludes all the speaker cards received.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. With that, we will recess and head to successor agency. If we could have roll call, please.
Member Bredigam? Member Nguyen? Here. Member Tran?
Here.
Member Dovin?
Present.
Member Aristegi?
Here.
Vice Chair Muñetón?
Here.
And Chair Klopfenstein?
Here. All right. We have held oral communication already, so that moves us to consent. We have one item, receive and file the minutes from January 27th. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right. Any matters from agency members? All right, seeing none, we will adjourn and go back to city council. We still have 2 items on the consent calendar, our warrants and waiving of the full reading of our ordinance list. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, that takes us on to item 7.
Item 7 is appointment to fill a vacancy on the Downtown Commission.
All right, do we have a reporter? Can I throw a name out there? Yeah. I'd like to, if I can, I'd like to nominate Angelo Tabalrides from, he's the owner and operator of Louis on Main. I think all of us have been there a time or two.
I'd like to second it.
Great.
Can I third?
Can I go with a second?
Angelo's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good man. We have a motion and a second.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Congrats, Angelo. Thank you. All right, that takes us to items for consideration. Item 8.
Item 8 is an introduction and first reading of an ordinance, adding chapter 6.48 and 6.50 to Title 6 of the Garden Grove Municipal Code with the ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove, adding chapter 6.48 and 6.50 to Title 6 of the Garden Grove Municipal Code, prohibiting the sale and distribution of kratom products and restricting the sale and distribution of nitrous oxide products. And I think our city attorney will provide the report.
Yes, Mayor, members of City Council, I don't have a long presentation. The City Council actually directed me to bring back this item to you after presentations by County Supervisor Janet Nguyen. So before you is an ordinance that will do 2 things. Number 1, it will have a full prohibition against the sale of kratom products, and it also prohibits the sale of nitrous oxide for recreational use, but it's not a full prohibition. It's a full prohibition for recreational use of nitrous oxide, but state law already has some regulations on that, and there are industrial and commercial uses of the product. I do know that coffee shops, Starbucks use it for their, what do you call it? The foam that they put, or, and you can find it also in the supermarket, in counter stores with the similar, product. I don't know why I'm blanking out what you call it. We put it in ice cream and whipped cream. Yes. Yes. So if it's already marketed and packaged as food products, and also there are exceptions there are some automotive uses. It does increase power in some engines. Dentists use it also in their practice, and also if you can obtain it through a pharmacist. Those are all regulated by the state, and we don't have the authority to regulate what the state already regulates. We can only have authority in areas where the state has left open for local regulations. So, so that is what these 2 ordinances, this one ordinance provides in the 2 new chapters that were added to the municipal code. And I can, I can discuss more what, the very specifics of the ordinance if you have any questions. If not, that is my report.
Thank you very much, City Attorney Sandoval. We have a question here, council member.
You mentioned Supervisor Chan Nguyen in Orange County.
Yes.
I want to know if they have passed any similar ordinance.
They have adopted a restriction on kratom, and I believe in theirs, you have to be 21 and over to be able to purchase it, and retailers can only sell it to individuals over 21 years old. And nitrous oxide, they also adopted an ordinance that prohibits the recreational use of, prohibits businesses from selling it to individuals who are buying it for recreational use. The And those are on the books, but as you know, it only applies to unincorporated areas in the county.
So it's not enforced evenly or even implemented with any impact, has it? Has it been enforced and impacted the communities in different cities?
There are various cities that have also adopted the same regulations. Our proposed regulations in this ordinance are virtually the same as in the city of Orange. City of Anaheim has adopted similar regulations, and I forget the other agencies. Irvine, I believe, has as well. It's something that only recently has started. As if you see in your attachments, the Orange County Health Department has started to issue advisories about the use of these two products. Kratom is not regulated. When we looked at what the county had done in terms of limiting it to 21 and over, it would be very difficult for us to enforce because they have a maximum amount of the alkaloid. And we took a look at some of the products that are sold in our local businesses, and there is no mention because it's not regulated, we cannot tell what the amount of alkaloid is in those products unless we take it to a lab and test it, because it's not regulated. And in order, we don't have access to labs, and so it would be very difficult for us to be able to enforce if it's not a complete ban.
So the question is,
Sir, I'm sorry, we can't have back and forth from the audience, please.
so the answer to my question is, you're saying that our ordinance is very similar to, if not the same as, what the Orange County has already passed. Is that it?
No. City of Orange, our adjacent city. The County of Orange adopted regulations very similar to this ordinance for nitrous oxide, but for kratom, it's a restriction, not a complete ban.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So if sir, your time to talk is over.
Sir, we can't do that, please.
So if I want to,
Please don't speak again from the audience, please.
so if I want to go out and make a Fast and Furious movie and buy a cylinder of NOS to soup up my car, is that considered recreational use or commercial use?
So for that one, there is an exception that also is in state law that you can use it for automotive uses. So it's basically industrial use. The difference in our ordinance is that it has to be applied by by auto shop. So you can't do it at your home. It has to be done at auto shop.
So basically, we're looking specifically at poppets, basically, right? It's what teenagers call them. You break them, inhale them, and
Well, we are also aware of some businesses that take NOx and actually will load it for you in a balloon so you can walk out with the balloon. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you.
One more question. If there is a ban, it's passed, and somebody's in violation, do we cite them?
So our standard municipal code regulations would apply in terms of enforcement. And the answer is, under our code, enforcement is, violation is a misdemeanor. And there are two ways to enforce it. One, it could be subject to cite and release with a notice to appear as a misdemeanor. The other option is for an administrative citation. So the officer on the field will make that determination, which is the better approach in terms of enforcement.
Thank you.
Colleagues, any other comments or questions?
I have a quick question. So based on what you said, the only difference that we are doing right now is that we want to prevent the 18 or 21 and younger not to be able to get it or access, right? That's the
No,
only
no,
difference.
so for Kratom, it would be a complete ban, 'cause so
Okay.
no one can purchase and no business can sell it.
Okay, thanks.
And this is for the natural and what is considered the synthetic? Because they're two different things, correct?
No, there's no synthetic, you know, all of the products we've seen out there is, you know, natural. And the only difference is sometimes they put organic on it, other times they don't have the organic label on it.
Probably the more appropriate word.
Correct,
Either
concentrated, yeah.
natural or concentrated.
Because synthetic is basically not kratom, it's some chemical, some other, you know, similar chemical. Kind of like opioids and fentanyl. Fentanyl is synthetic.
Any other comments or questions, colleagues? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion or.
No,
Is it?
it's
No,
not a
it's items
public-
for consideration.
Comment, I'm sorry. Just, you know, looking at this, I do understand, especially when it comes to the kratom, and if you take it in small doses, it has more of a stimulant effect, you know, kind of like coffee, tea, that kind of stuff. It acts as a stimulant. But when you take a larger dose, it becomes more of a opioid effect, or what we call a narcotic analgesic. And that's where the problem is. You know, people will start out with small amounts, and, you know, they say for pain management or whatnot, and then it gets more and more, and then, you know, it actually goes to the same opioid receptors in the brain as opioids do. You know, you don't want to get kids going down that line at a young age. And I get there are some people who do use it for pain management, but it's really not appropriate for that. I mean, it's not. There's a lot of alternative things for pain management for those folks. You have to look at the sources too, when you have people, you know, sending you emails or trying to, you know, bend your ear on the subject. Where are they from? What's their background? Are they selling this stuff? Because that makes a huge impact on the way they're going to try to sway your vote one way or the other. So with that being said, I look at this as a positive thing. You know, the complete ban is kind of necessary, as the city attorney said. There's no way for us to open up a lab. It would be very cost prohibitive to test every little bit and see if it was over a certain level or under a certain level, or trying to, you know, it would just, you really couldn't do that, not a city our size. And, you know, we don't need kids experimenting with this stuff, quite frankly. We just don't. And then they become adults who are addicted to this stuff. And it is addictive, both psychologically and physiologically. It's addictive. And so, you know, I'm going to support the ordinance. I think I'd urge my fellow colleagues here to do the same.
Another question?
I have a comment. I'm on the other side of this. I will not vote this ordinance up. It actually violates the 14th Amendment, equal protection. You're going to have an arbitrary citation, whether it's administrative or a criminal. Misdemeanor is a criminal prosecution. And that's going to be decided by the officer on the ground, not us. Not us. So who decides how we apply that in terms of enforcement? It's unequal protection. Also hurts the little guy. So it hurts small businesses. I'm in favor of an advisory where we advise the business operator, you don't sell it to minors. I haven't heard anybody report any of operators selling to minors. Now, if you show me the data, I might change my mind. Even the supervisor, Janet Nguyen, who is giving us a report on this, passed an ordinance that's not like ours. It's not. It's different. It's not a ban on kratom sales. Now, the regulations already come at the federal level, if any. Then there are state regulations in terms of SB bills and this and that. that's already in operation. And we're going to pass something different from what the federal laws call for, and different from what the state law calls for, and also different from what the county ordinance calls for. I don't want to be like City of Orange. Sorry. I'm not going to take their leadership on this. No. This is Garden Grove. This is not the City of Orange. They want to pass it? Fine. They wipe out their small business over there. Don't do it over here. I'm going to vote it down.
Yeah.
Quick comment. And with all due respect, those are good comments, Councilman Dovin. When it comes to misdemeanors, though, law enforcement in the state of California has the right to decide to make an arrest, to make a cite with all misdemeanors. This would be no different than that and what's currently done in law. There is no mandate for an officer to make an arrest. Officers are given discretion. They're given training, and they've got years of real life experience, and sometimes it's the best thing for all parties involved to write a citation, and sometimes it's better to put them in handcuffs and take them to jail. And you know, this would be no different than any other misdemeanor in the state of California. They still would have the same discretion to do either. So as far as being in conflict with state and federal law, there are no state or federal laws specific to kratom. I'm sure they'll come eventually, but they don't exist. The FDA doesn't even recognize it at this point.
All right.
And so I just wanted to make it clear, it isn't inconsistent. It's just we're at the forefront of it, basically, and that's why we have these folks from Los Angeles here, you know, trying to get our attention. So anyway,
Okay.
I said it.
This is a discussion, so there's going to be some going back and forth. You've mentioned your stance, and I'm going to clarify my stance a little bit. I will not criminalize that guy sitting right there for his self-kratom. No, I will not do that. I will not criminalize that guy right there who needs it medicinally. I haven't heard from any child or parent come here and says, "You selling kratom to my child," and they're hurt. I haven't heard that. On the opposite, I've had more than 10 emails just in the past 24 hours opposing this ordinance. And you all got it too. I got maybe 1 or 2 emails in support of this ordinance. As a democratic process, I am not going to vote for 2 versus more than a dozen people oppose this ordinance. And it's not just him selling it. It's not just him buying it. Starbucks is selling some of it. Some of the grocers are selling some of it. And we can't test it. We can't regulate it. And we cannot penalize something that the state and even county is not penalizing. They're not banning it. We are banning it with this. Okay? And I also have a problem with nitric oxide and kratom in the same ordinance. Now, if you want 2 ordinances, make it 2 ordinances. I'll vote up a ban on nitric oxide, but I will not vote up a ban on kratom. I want to go down to the grocers and buy it. I don't want to criminalize the businessmen in my city and punish them for what? Are we going to police morality? That's the problem I had with the last ordinance. I'm not policing morality here. I'm not taking away people's rights that I can't give back. Once it's taken away, this guy, that guy cannot reverse this ordinance. You guys can't do it. And I got to trust the officer on the ground to make arbitrary decisions when it's enforcement is at issue, and they say there's no financial impact. Yeah, the study on this report says there's no financial impact. I beg to differ. There will be financial impact in the enforcement and in terms of the businesses that suffer because they can't sell it. So I think I've stated my position pretty clearly. It's up to the rest of the council how they vote. This is a no vote for me.
Councilwoman, you had a question?
So I one question for Omar, and Omar, that is, do we have any data on how many Garden Grove businesses sell any forms of kratom?
I don't have that data in front of me. I do know from the photos, and I have over 30 photos. I didn't want to put them all on the attachment, but you can see. I can tell you that it's mostly sold on tobacco shops, liquor stores, convenience stores like the gas stations. And I actually went on Amazon to see if I could purchase it on Amazon. You cannot purchase it on Amazon. I could not find kratom on Amazon. I found books about it and about how to break the addiction to kratom. That's where I learned that it is an addictive substance.
And while I also don't have any hard data on exactly how many stores in Garden Grove sell them, I have seen the advertisements for this substance on the storefront of at least one store in our city. So we know that it is out there in at least one place. But I want to say I appreciate the perspectives of council members Dovin and Bridegem, and George, I thank you so much for clarifying, especially with regards to the point about misdemeanor. And I want to add more to your point, because there is currently some legislation that is in process with some legislation that Senator Umberg has put through. And he has sent a letter of support for our ordinance tonight. And I also want to add some more information for context as we deliberate that when this piece of legislation was passed in the Board of Supervisors, this was a piece of legislation that did receive bipartisan support. It was very much seen as a quality of life ordinance. And I think it's important, and maybe Omar, you could go into more detail about why there is the need for the tighter, a refresher, the tighter regulation in our ordinance versus the county ordinance.
Although the Orange County Health Department serves as our health department, they mostly focus on restaurants and that health aspect of it. Otherwise, we don't have a health department with health inspectors, right? And when we looked at the products themselves, it tells you how many milligrams, but doesn't tell you how much of the alkaloids that actually cause the addiction is within those products. The county does ban kratom that has more than 2% 7-OH. So that's the alkaloid that causes the addiction and the cocaine type effects, right? And for us to adopt the same regulation, we don't have the wherewithal to determine whether a particular canister or pill is within a regulation or not.
I can quickly, where would that wherewithal come from? Is that meaning that our police department? Or is that the side of this, like the enforcement side?
Somehow we would have to purchase, a pill or a bottle, take it to a lab, test it to see if it exceeds the 2% of the alkaloid, 7-OH.
And none of that, if it's being sold in a store, I would think that there's not proof of that in labeling. There's not a law that states this has to say the amount, the percentage. There has to be some sort of transparency on the label, just like any other pill or any other pack of cigarettes, anything you buy.
It's completely unregulated.
Okay. Meaning they don't have to put anything on there.
Correct.
Okay.
Even if they did, you wouldn't know if it was correct.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
I really appreciate our council member and Madam Mayor talking about this issue. And I too concur with Councilman Dovin. It's about actually, because up to now I don't see anything or any data that actually damage it. what going on too, because we are a country of law and order. If we prohibit the sale of kratom to the minor, then that should be enforced. Other than that, to completely prohibit that damage a lot of small business, as Lovin said, and I agree with that. Also, I would like to see more data that actually damaging what's going on, then I will go forward to it. Other than that, I also want to see if we can do the ordinance separately from the kratom and the nitrous oxide. Then I would be more happy to do more on my own research and study about that so I can vote more effectively. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm hearing a lot of mixed sentiment here. There's some asks for some more information. I feel like maybe we don't have a full consensus on data at this point in time. So I'm going to make a substitute motion that we table for 2 weeks and bring this back. One, to have them separated, 2 separate ordinances, and then also hopefully we can gather some further data and some more information. I think that we can get to a consensus. I don't think any of us want anything in our liquor stores and anything that is going to harm anyone. But I feel like there's definitely a consensus brewing of potentially wanting a deeper level of fact-finding and a little more hard data and numbers.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Mayor. I think I sense we're pretty much in agreement that, and we're all on the same page, especially with regard to the nitrous oxide. And I think we just, with regards to whether it's a 21 and over or what are the specifics with regards to kratom, I think that's where we need to.
Okay.
I think there was some information when Supervisor Nguyen was here. She had mentioned some hospital data, I think, and I think Senator Umberg also published some information that we might be able to.
We'll make sure to capture all of that as well.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the substitute motion to table for 2 weeks. Yes.
I've seconded the substitute motion, just with a caveat also that we kind of agree that we decouple those 2 products. I don't want it lumped into one ordinance. And I also want to review what we're restricting and what we are prohibiting. I have less of a problem with restricting kratom and prohibiting nitrous oxide. From my own research, nitrous oxide is much more dangerous and subject to being abused by younger people. So I would be in favor of prohibiting the distribution of nitrous oxide and restricting the kratom products to over 18 would have access to its sale. So that would be under consideration for the next time. And lastly, we may have some legislation coming down from the federal government or the state level or the county level, which would apply to us as a city. So I don't want to jump the gun here and try to pass an ordinance when we got more legislation coming. Tom Umberg, you passed the law. Janet Nguyen, you passed the law. We'll follow it if it passes. I'm not going to be the dog that wags the tail, or the tail that wags the dog either. So thank you for the substituted motion.
You're welcome. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Aristegui?
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen? Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilmember Tran?
Yes.
Councilmember Muñetón?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brightigam?
Yes.
Councilmember Dovin?
Yes on the substituted motion.
And Mayor Klopfenstein?
Yes.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right. We'll reconvene on that in a couple of weeks. Okay, that will take us to item number 9.
Item 9 is a receive and file of the annual financial reports and related audit items for fiscal year 24-25 and approval of additional appropriations for fiscal year 2025-26. And Director Patricia Song is here to provide the report.
Madam Clerk, good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. This item might not be stimulating so much excitement, but I am very proud to present this financial statement for fiscal year 2025. This audit was completed on December 23rd, 2025, and I'm pleased to report that we once again received a clean audit opinion from our independent auditor, Davis & Farr. A clean opinion simply means that after examining our records, the auditor concluded the city's financial statements are fairly and accurately presented. The Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or ACFR we call them, is one of the most important financial documents produced by the city. Its counterpart, it's the budget book, which serves as our financial roadmap, laying out our spending plan for the future. The budget book typically receives a lot of attention because it reflects a policy decision about future spending. But tonight, I am going to focus on the ACFR. I like to think the ACFR as the city's report card for its financial operations. While the budget tells us what we plan to do, the ACFR tells us what actually happened. It presents the city's financial position and operating results at year-end with audited, verified information. The ACFR is prepared under nationally established standards issued by the Government Accounting Standard Boards, and is audited in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Because of its high level of regulation, consistency, and independent review, the ACFR is the primary financial document relied upon by investors, by credit rating agencies, and other external stakeholders to assess the city's financial health. I know it's a lot to ask anyone to read the 200-page document filled with numbers and accounting terminology, so I'd like to highlight just a few key items tonight. First, on pages 17 and 19, the line graphs show that revenues exceeded expenses for both governmental fund and utility funds over the past 5 years. Each year, when we brought the proposed budget to you, we commit to a balanced budget based on the projections we make. And the ACFR actually validates those projections by presenting the audited actual results, and I like to call that the closing the loop. Second, the general fund, on page 32, towards the bottom of the table, you see the committed fund balance. This includes the $30 million in stability reserve and $11 million in designated revenue reserves. These reserves we established in 2019 under your direction, and over the past several years, the combined balance has nearly doubled. So this shows the strong fiscal discipline, long-term planning, and commitment to financial stability. While we remain mindful of economic uncertainty and policy changes that may impact the city, we believe that adhering to a resilient financial policy framework will allow us to weather temporary challenges, and these policies are built proactively over time instead of reacting to external pressures. The second part of this agenda item is a request for your approval of additional appropriations totaling $375,500 in the general fund and $163,000 in the impact fee fund. So after closing their books each year, staff conducts a mid-year budget review. Based on the first 6 months of activity and updated forecasts, we expect to close fiscal year 2026 in the positive. However, during our review, we did identify 3 items requiring additional funding. The first one is the concrete replacement capital project. Each year, the general fund contributes $300,000 to this capital project to support street improvements as state funding continues to decline year over year. When fiscal year 2026 budget was adopted, we increased the concrete and asphalt funding in the Public Works operating budget. But the ongoing $300,000 capital contribution was omitted. Staff reviewed the project needs and determined that the funding is still necessary to proceed as planned. The second item relates to the implementation of a new legislation, SB 707, which amended the Brown Act. To comply with this legislation, upgrades to equipment and technology in this room are required, and the estimated cost is about $75,500 to be funded by the general fund. And the final request is for $163,000 to fund a contract with Works of Art by Jennifer for a bronze sculpture at the newly renovated Woodbury Park. The contract was approved by City Council last August. However, additional funding was not requested at that time. The funding will be coming out of the Cultural Arts Fee Fund, which has sufficient audited fund balance to support for the contract. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the in-depth report. We always appreciate it greatly. Colleagues, any questions or comments?
Mayor.
Yes.
Yeah, first, just a procedural, since the additional funds aren't listed on the agenda item, is that kosher? Can we vote on that at the same time?
They are listed on the recommendation.
But they're not on the published agenda, right?
They are.
Well, it just says receive and file the annual report related items for 24-25 and approve. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay. They're not specifically, all right, I get it. Second, the art project, you know, I'm a firm believer in public art. You know, I spent 5 years trying to raise funds for said thing, and raised the money and had a sculpture commissioned and donated it to the city, put it in place. $150,000. It was a pretty lengthy event, took about 5 years to do. I'm glad to see that this was included in this project, but I was under the impression that the developer of the park was going to do this, and it wasn't going to become the taxpayers paying for it.
Mayor Pro Tem, the funding is coming from the developer impact fee. It's not the general fund.
Okay, so the developer is supporting this?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make that very clear. I'm very happy about this, and I'm glad Ariana's not gonna have to do what I did with a hat and go out and beg for money from everyone. That's great, but I just wanted to make sure that the taxpayers weren't on the hook for that sculpture. Thank you very much, and I'll make the motion.
Very good. Any other comments or a second?
I do have another question, Patricia, just because so the eyes have been very much in our revenues and in revenues locally in the last year. We recently saw the headlines in the news. There was a UCI study that showed that regionally there had been declines in our local economy. And in your report, it mentions that we did see a decline in our sales and transient occupancy taxes. And thank God it doesn't look too crazy. But you do mention here that you want to do some more fiscal monitoring and strategic planning to manage these potential fiscal impacts of the slowing of the economy. What are some examples of some of these things for the folks in the community who might be wondering, what are some of the things that we as a city do to try to mitigate the impacts of slow growth?
Yeah, absolutely. There are several ways to manage a potentially declining economy or revenue expenditure stream. So we can look at it from both ends. One is on the revenue side. We can try to expand it, enhance it, as well as identifying temporary opportunities to make a change, to take the opportunity of growing certain aspects such as tourism. You know, with big events coming in the Anaheim area, we should be tagging along and to promote some of our hotels and some of our businesses to try to ride along to get that the share that belongs to the city. On the expenditure side, we could look for either to phase some of the larger projects based on the revenue stream coming in, based on our cash flow supplies, as well as reprioritize to make sure that we have the biggest advantage of taking advantage of the opportunity. So in addition to that, the third approach is really looking for cost recovery. So that is achieved by either updating the fees that we have been doing in the past years and constantly updating based on the actual cost, or subrogation efforts. This is something that we do if there's damage to the city's property due to illegal actions, DUI, and all the other things. The city has been actively going after the responsible party to recover our costs. So there are very different ways of doing things, and within each means, we are also looking into policy changes, opportunities, market changes, such as last meeting, Mayor Protem brought up the investment policy, the changes because driven by the federal government, the Federal Reserve policy. So we have been taking advantage of that as well, restructuring our investment. So that segment has been enhancing our overall financial condition. Our rate of return has been continued seeing an improvement. Our investment income this year actually was the one saving us from going into a deficit because, the major tax revenues are declining, but investment income is coming up to take the shortfall to balance the year. So those are the things we've been constantly monitoring and trying to make sure that we are staying in the positive.
Staying busy, Patricia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have a quick question for you. We have received and filed an annual financial report, related audit items, fiscal year 2024-25, and approved additional appropriation for fiscal year 25-26. My question is, how much of those reports are available to the public? Is it on the website? Is it public record? Anybody can access it. In the interest of transparency, are we, after we vote this up, disclose to the public any and all of these reports?
Great question. All of the reports in the attachments are posted online, and our financial statement, the ACFR, is also posted on the city's webpage for anybody to look at.
Last question. We've heard that the public is requesting that our retreats are videotaped and broadcast to the public. You have any problem with that?
I don't have any problem with it.
Thank you.
I think we have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion receives, 6 yes votes.
Thank you. All right, if you can believe it, that takes us to matters.
For the record, that is 7 yes votes.
Even better. All right, that takes us to matters. And before we go around the horn this evening, we have item number 10.
Item number 10 is update on the Civic Center revitalization project as requested by City Manager Kim. And we're going to go ahead and have Christina provide the report. Or, excuse me, Craig is going to introduce the item.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. There we go. Well, it's been a few months since we've had an opportunity to come before you and talk about the project. I know you've seen the project kind of grow, if you will. It continues to move forward. We're really excited about where we are as far as work that's done to date. And I wanted to do two things tonight. I wanted to give you a brief construction update and then talk about the park design, because park design is going to be part of phase 2. I think it's always important to take a moment and just think about where we started, and it's been quite a journey. I started this project timeline at 2018, though I know there was a lot of work that happened even before 2018. But I think 2018 is when things really kind of kicked off and became real with the passage of Measure O and providing a funding source to make this project a reality. That was quickly followed by Operation and Infrastructure Needs Assessment, commonly referred to as the Dewberry Report. That report showed that our current PD infrastructure did not support the operations, and they needed more capacity. And so with that in hand, a feasibility analysis was done, kind of right-sizing what a building would be and where it would be set in the Civic Plaza area. We did some pre-development work, selected our development team, and actually had a groundbreaking ceremony about a little more than 2 years ago. So we are moving quickly. This is a perspective from a live video cam that we have when we've been taking a time-lapse photography of the project. So it's kind of fun to go back and see where it started and where we are today. As you can see, all the major systems are on the roof. Those are all installed. The glass walls are on, and the parking garage is close to being done. So as mentioned, we started this project. We issued a notice to proceed in June of 2024. We anticipate that by July of this year, The building will be delivered and PD will start moving in. So pretty much a 2-year build out. There's a couple things that are happening that you'll see on the exterior. There's a lot of work happening inside the building right now. They're finishing drywall, getting ready to put in flooring, cabinet work, etc. But they'll be continuing with the exterior site work here shortly, assuming the rain doesn't get things too wet this week. And we'll see that build out happen. I thought it was interesting to take some pictures and show kind of like this example. About 2 years ago, this is a year from 24 to 25, but just where we were. This perspective is from Acacia Parkway, and you can kind of see we were just starting our foundation work and some of the building infrastructure, and now you have glass and they're finishing the exterior ceilings, and soon that courtyard will be poured with new concrete. This is a perspective from Euclid. Again, some of the early work that was part of our BMPs, or systems that will help capture rainfall and keep it on the site. And this is a perspective now. You can see that all the glass is in, the masonry work is done, and they're getting ready to finish some of the landscape work. This is our utility yard. So all of the conduits, you can see the conduit runs into this utility yard. This utility yard will be supporting not only the new public safety building, but the fire station and the park when the park is built out. This is the main drive aisle, if you will, as the police vehicles come in and out of the parking garage. You can see the early work where the utilities were undergrounded, and now we have our initial rough asphalt cap in. Again, a perspective of the building portion of the Sally Port and some storage that we have in the back part of the facility, and you can see what it looks like today. This is our Greenbelt connection. This is the east-west connection that will be on the north side of the project, kind of between the project and the library. It'll be a nice connection from Euclid to the new park when it's all built out. They're actually physically putting trees in the ground today. And then this is kind of a look ahead. So where we are now in February, all the drywall work is done on the first floor. Most of it's completed on the second floor. Still a little work to be done on the third. As mentioned, flooring will be coming in on the first floor. You're going to start installing the carpeting and some of the vinyl flooring that will be going in, and then the cabinetry. So as you look at this look ahead, we're roughly 100 days out before the building systems will be tested. HVAC, security measures, everything will be up and functioning kind of in that May, early June timeline in preparation for installation of the final furniture components, and then we'll get ready to move the PD team. So with that, I'd like to kick it over to Christina Solomon. She is our project director extraordinaire representing Edgemoor, and she's going to go through the park design this evening.
Thank you, Craig. Mayor, council members, good evening. Thank you so much for letting us give you this update tonight. As Craig mentioned, I will talk through the current design of the Civic Center Park, or refresh. That will start with the dedication of the new building and then the demolition of the old building. So that will be the first start. It'll take a little bit of time because there's abatement and stuff that needs to happen, so we need to be safe in the demo. But as soon as that's demoed, then we'll go into grading, and then you'll start to see this park come to life pretty quickly thereafter. Just wanted to remind everyone about what our site plan looks like. So again, we wanted to create a really open space for events and provide a lot of opportunities for activation and discovery, and also provide a nice conduit and connection between all the civic buildings. So there's beautiful pathways from City Hall to the CMC to the library, and all connecting to Euclid and Acacia. And so we want to talk a little bit about what activation and elements are in the park. So it's pretty jam-packed. Every area of the park has something new and different to explore, which is fantastic. So if we start at the top, we have our fitness equipment. So where there's currently fitness equipment, now we will refresh all of that fitness equipment, bring in new pieces, more pieces, so that can be a nice area of activation. Everything is centered around a large event lawn. For big events, there will be about 250 2,500 people who can fit for non-seated events. And then there's also space for food trucks. So you can really activate the space in a lot of ways with those events. As I mentioned, the fitness equipment up in the north east corner of the park where the current fitness equipment is. And then we've also done a lot of studies on the lighting of the park, looking at a couple different things. One, making sure that we have the right light levels for safety at night, but then also looking at opportunities to bring in colored lights for events and some larger lights for large events where you can have good cleanup, visibility for cleanup, et cetera. So we've done a lot of light studies to look at how we're gonna light this park, and it will be beautiful. In the southeast corner of the park is where we'll have our Memorial Grove. In this area, we've brought in a water feature, which we think will bring a lot of tranquility to the space. Should have some nice water sounds there. And also in this area, there will be bricks that will be pavered in the area, and those can be purchased and dedicated to people. The city will let the community know if or when they can buy bricks to have memorials in the Memorial Grove. So that should be a really nice way to bring in some of the bring into the memorial area of this park.
And we want to highlight the cherry trees too.
Oh yes, and this is where the cherry trees are. So I think at our last meeting, we were very generously donated cherry trees by council members. So thank you. This is where they are. They look beautiful. It'll be a really beautiful way to frame the Memorial Grove. So very happy with that. So thank you again. This is a new look at the entry to the park. So again, we wanted to have a monument sign at the front of the park that really ties into this activation and discovery for the park. And we brought in elements of play with the playground, which we'll get into in a second. So really wanted to celebrate play. And so that's looking at the new entry plaza concept. And then just to the west of the entry plaza, we have a park restroom, which will actually be really cool. It's a 3D printed building. So this is a new technology that's being used around California, trying to use it more in Altadena with some of the in some of the fire areas to rebuild homes. But so this will be a really cool one. The building will look really cool, and it'll be an awesome thing to watch. So hopefully the community can get a view of it as it's being built. But the mechanism for building a 3D printed building is pretty spectacular, and the concrete is so strong. It's 10,000 PSI in the concrete, so it'll be a really cool spectacle, and we're really excited to deliver this. I've never been that excited about a restroom, but this is it. And then the playground. So we have brought in 3 separate play areas. One at the northern portion of the park near the CMC is a sensory garden where there'll be a lot of instruments and musical things that kids can play with to create sounds. And then there's 2 playgrounds further south, sort of on the either side of the restroom, one for tots and one for older kids. We're really excited about how this has come together. It was really thoughtfully designed. We were touring playgrounds in the area to see what resonated, and it happened to be on Take Your Child to Work Day. So I brought my 4-year-old with us, and he helped decide what was the right playground equipment for us to go with, because there was some stuff he was like, I don't like this at all, so we got rid of it. So that was a pretty fun way to bring some salient feedback from the user groups that we're excited about. So, and then also, we know this park gets a lot of walking, so we have some beautiful walkways to allow people to get some nice walking and exercise. Again, really focusing on activation, discovery, movement. This should be a park that has really something for everybody, and we're really excited to see it come to life, and we hope the community loves it. With that, I'll hand it back to Craig. That's it. Questions?
Questions and
Thank
comments?
you. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
but,
and then we'll go to
whoever can start. Go ahead.
Councilman, and then we'll go to the other councilman.
You go back to page 11 really quickly.
Page 11.
Page 11. Is there anything wrong with our ceilings we should be concerned about?
No. This is the finished work, as you know.
I after E, except after C?
There's no spell check in Excel, so.
There's no worry
Thank you
the
for
ceiling's
that.
falling down.
As soon as you said that, I looked at it and said, that's not in the right order.
All right,
We will
page
correct
20.
that.
Page 20, can we take out the letter L? Looks too much like LA and I like pay better. I hope that's not the last word, but maybe something more Garden Grove. We put something that's kind of our logo or, put our stamp on it as Garden Grove. But accommodations, because the added water feature seems very nice touch, as well as the cherry trees, and I think I promised to donate, so hit me up when
We
the
wrote it
time
down.
comes.
Building a walkway from City Hall to the.
The Skyway, okay, yeah.
Joe Dovan Skyway.
That's it, no questions, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really lucky to have such generous colleagues. I've never felt poorer in my life. But happy to have you guys donating such wonderful trees. I have one question with regards to the 3D printed bathroom, which is truly spectacular.
Yeah.
Can we get a time lapse? That would be really great.
Yes, we will make sure there's a time lapse set up. That would be really
Oh,
cool.
that would be amazing. And Craig, I'm just going to be the broken record on this. Please, no California date palms. I'm just going to
No date
continuously
palms.
ask about this. Just they're messy. We step on them, we slip on them. Liability, it's a whole thing. I end my case.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. The first one, can I go back to what Councilmember mentioned about play? I thought in the past we said that Chi something. Was that? Yeah. So what happened? Why did we change?
We were really trying to lean into the playfulness of the park itself because we brought in the playground and really trying to make people feel like it was a fun place to explore. So moving away from GG into a play to really punch up the fun elements of the park. We can definitely discuss it.
So do we have anywhere that's saying something about Garden Go or anything?
We do. We have a handful of monument signs actually throughout the park that are wayfinding signs, but they say Garden Grove on them with a civic map. So it does say Garden Grove throughout the park. And there's one right by the play sign, the sort of "You are here, Garden Grove" sign. We can show you what those look like.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that it's somewhere, because when people are taking picture, we want them to highlight this is Garden Grove.
Yep.
Okay. The second one.
If I may also add, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, if we look at the play sign, there will be cutouts of different instruments and instrument notes. And one of the ideas that are coming to the forefront is we are going to have cutouts of GG and strawberries throughout the play sign. So it'll allow some of the visitors and our residents to not only take their imagery and photos with the play sign, but now get to find our strawberries and things that are really essence of Garden Grove, including GG. So we want to make sure that that's etched into the play sign. So that's how some of those GG will be incorporated.
Okay. Second question relate to the screen up there, for display. Remember last time we talked about, because my concern was that because the sun will be behind us when you go there and watch movie or whatever at nighttime. So my question, did you guys have that consideration to make sure that it's not going to have the light reflects in the back and would make it harder for us to see the screen?
So there are a couple things. So one of the considerations with putting the screen where it was as well was about acoustics. So the direction in which we wanted the sound to go. So that was one of the driving factors in getting the sound forward. But we actually in the stage have a really nice large canopy, and it's with shading on it. So the hope is that really the canopy angles, and so that canopy angle and all the trees behind it will provide the right sun blockage to get the views that you need on those screens. It's a really large, I want to say it's like 60 feet by 30 feet, something like that. It's pretty large. So it should be very visible, and the sound should be is in the right direction for the movies.
Okay. And last, consider what the financial where we at, the deficits, in the future, etc. So my question, would there be any impact on the delivery date or this project? Or is there any opportunity for you to do saving anywhere?
I think right now, if you look at where we're at in the schedule, I don't anticipate any issues delivering the project on time. I never want to commit the contractor to being early, but I do think it'll be early on this one, so it'll.
I think,
Christina.
I'm sorry, I didn't say clearly just because I didn't want to give all the detail, but basically, I don't think I worry about the contractor side. I'm talking about us, the city, in terms of, the payment and with the budget of where we're at. There are other things that impact to that. I didn't say the detail, but my question, would there be any impact to it or none?
We are on budget and we are on time.
Okay.
So the budget and the cost for this project has already been programmed within the city finances. So I'm very pleased to say that we're on budget and on time.
Thank you.
Those are great words to hear.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. I'm going to go to Councilmember Nguyen and then you.
We'd like to compliment you for a very beautiful, impressive park. I'm proud of it.
Thank you.
And another thing that can we go to page 19? I'm a little bit concerned about this. Right. On the right-hand corner that I see, isn't that the cactus that we have?
No, that image was taken as a precedent image to kind of show what the water feature would look like. So that doesn't represent the planting that we'll have in this park, but it was intended to represent the type of water feature that will be in the Memorial Grove.
Right, but behind that, with all the green that we have,
We don't have cactuses.
we don't have cactus. That's
No.
good. Because to me, with kids running around, that can be liability.
Nothing spiky. There are some succulents,
There you
but
go.
nothing spiky.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Councilwoman.
My question was, I know earlier we talked. My question is, what are some of the developments that will be happening at the fire department? I know there's going to be some small.
So part of the transition process is once we're able to move the police department into the new building, then we'll start the remediation and demo work. To separate those two facilities, the fire and the old police station, we need to move the fire operation out. So the truck company will be moving over to Station 86 on West Street. And the daylight personnel are going to move into what is called the police annex, or the secondary building that police use that's kind of on the northeast corner of the civic area. So that'll all happen concurrently to police moving into the new building. Once all of that is concluded and remediation is done, then we will separate the buildings. There will be a new drive aisle built, which would be on the far east side of the fire building, and then some frontage work will be updated as well.
So there will be developments inside the facility as well?
There will be some updates to the facade. We're working to try to identify some budgets to help update the kitchen. There was, when the drive aisle was built, there was some cracking of one of the countertops in the kitchen, so we want to make sure we replace that and address that. So we're working to try to find some money and improve that facility as well.
Thank you. And then also, I just wanted to know what the radius or mile around the park, or I know there's going to be a trail. Do you know approximately how long around would it be?
I know we've looked at this so many times, and it's escaping me. Is it a
It's
mile and a
right
half?
about, just right around a mile. I think that's the way to think about it. We will have mile markers as
Yes.
you go around
Neat.
the loop, but I think it ended up being maybe 1.1, if I recall, or 1.2.
Yeah, it's right around a mile. But
Awesome.
yes, there will be mile markers sort of printed onto the.
Cross-country team's going to have a blast with that.
There you
Yeah,
go,
for
yeah.
sure. Mother runners. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the FD, I'm sure they'll be coming hat in hand once we get done with this to, maybe allocate some Measure O funds to constructing that building. But, it will be getting a new coat of paint at the minimum, I've been assured.
We've done a few facade studies, and yeah, at a minimum, it does need some fresh paint.
And maybe some minor interior stuff for now until we can delve in further. You guys, I'll be gone by then, but you guys can delve into helping that. I do want to echo Cindy's statement with that play. I think we're missing a big opportunity here, just going with play. I think of like the Sister City Association and the kids coming by, and they're going to be probably taking pictures and sending it, to their friends in Korea, and you get visitors, and you really want to have something a little more obvious. Garden Grove, they go to Disneyland, they go to Hollywood when they're here, they go, not to mention the local kids, and and promoting our city. We're putting all this into it. If it means putting GG next to it or something that could signify play in Garden Grove, or but I do think just play is lackluster. Even if you put all those gizmos inside of it, I think we need to do something a little more obvious, and I'd hate to miss that opportunity at this point. So with that being said, yeah, you guys have delivered a great project on time, on budget. How often is that in any city? I can remember going down this path, and we have a son here, but back then it was Lieutenant Dalton taking us on a tour of the police station, the old police station. I think it was me, Maureen, Tony, and there was Verla Lambert from the east side, and he took us through a tour 30 plus years ago and showed us just how overcrowded and how terrible it was. And that was 30 years ago. And, that got the community talking. We need a new police station. We need a new, this is wrong. And especially what was hard hit was the women, because women started coming in. And back when that was built, there were no women police officers, or very few. Now they make up a big component of our police officers. And, you got to have locker rooms for women, something that simple. You got to have, you got to think. So I'm really glad it took 30 some years. It was then Lieutenant Dalton, before he became a councilman, and then mayor, who really kind of got this ball rolling in earnest. And too bad he wasn't able to survive to see its completion. But I'm glad that this is happening.
All right, thank you. One question I had. I think the library construction has started. Does that hinder you at all? Is that pretty separate? No problems there?
Yeah, no, we've had a number of coordination meetings with the construction team that's addressing the library, so that is not going to impact our project at all. In fact, once they finish our planting, which will likely be in the next couple weeks, we will be completely out of that gateway element. So. Okay, very good. Yes.
Just one last question, hopefully. When do we expect the next update or report from you?
When do we want to do it? We can do it whenever. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, we're 100 days from opening the building, so I think the next update will be the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
So,
Our tour
the council, what will likely happen is we'll be scheduling additional site visits in the next month or two for the council to see some of the finished work within the building, but shortly thereafter, we're cutting that ribbon.
And you can't write on the wall again.
No.
So I'm hearing from a couple of other council members that we want something more Garden Grove at that location, so please consider that, and maybe next time when we do have a report or we're on site or whatever, we might have some options.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move on then for matters. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to go first this evening, and I'm going to ask Councilmember Tran to go last. She has some remarks she'd like to make to pay respects to a lost loved one. A couple things. One, I just wanted to circle back. I know I had brought this topic up before under matters. And I don't remember, quite frankly, if I asked for this to come back. But I just wanted to bring up the e-bike conversation again briefly. I sit on the board of directors for OCTA. OCTA is really doing a lion's share of work, putting together committees and roundtables with different police departments, the sheriffs, different cities that have adopted ordinances, obviously their own personal team and more. And they're really trying to tackle this issue, looking at early legislation and what all of that means, gathering data and information from cities that are really, I think, hit the hardest from this, looking at the differences between these e-bikes and also these Surons that are basically motorcycles, looking at aftermarket apps and different things that are causing a lot of confusion and so forth. I think we're all hearing from the community that this is something that we're curious about, we're wondering about. When is the right time for an ordinance? Is it something that we should do? Probably a little still early in the game. I'd like to see some synergy between us as a council, as well as the school district, as well as our police department, just to see where the education component lies for the community before we were to tackle this from an ordinance perspective. I'd like to slow walk that, because I think this is all still sort of in its infancy as to how we go about this. So I don't know if that's just kind of capturing all that data and bringing it back at a future meeting, or whatever is most appropriate. But I think it's an issue that we've all heard about, and I think just being able to better understand and get our heads wrapped around the data that's out there and what legislation looks like and sort of how that feels for Garden Grove would be helpful. Okay, so I don't need to have a motion for that, or?
Yeah, we currently have a prohibition against motorized vehicles on our sidewalks.
Okay.
And that motorized bicycles have been an issue, because you can also put a 2-stroke engine on a bicycle. And same with no difference between having a battery and electric motor. So our officers have been able to cite anyone using the sidewalks with motorized vehicles. But I think we are looking into whether we would join other cities in adopting more specific regulations pertaining to e-bikes, because they are an issue also in the public right of way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one of the biggest issues is the usage that I think is causing some consternation in the community is minors. It seems to be circling around more of the junior high age youth. And so I think just, continuing that conversation and making sure the community knows transparently that we're looking at this and this is something that's important to us. Most importantly, just for the safety of the community and especially the riders and so forth, and just furthering that education process. So just an update at some future meeting would be appropriate and appreciated. And then finally, I just wanted to bring up the mayor's prayer breakfast. I recorded a little reel today with GGTV3, so I think that'll be up on social media tomorrow. But I'm very excited to have had the support of staff to bring this event back into the city of Garden Grove. It's been a long time. I think the last prayer breakfast was 2012, maybe 2014. So I hope that this brings the community together in a meaningful way. The prayer breakfast will be held on February 26th. And you can RSVP by the 16th, so that's coming up. So we need those RSVPs soon. It's a free event. It'll be held here at the Community Meeting Center. And if you want to RSVP, you can just go to our city website, ggcity.org, and pretty much that flyer will just smack you right in the face. You'll see it immediately when you open the website, and you can click on that to register. We'd love to see the community out. We have our GGPD chaplain, Pastor James Scheller, as our keynote speaker, and I know he will give it such an uplifting message. So it's going to be wonderful. We have the Christ Cathedral Choir that's going to be performing. I'll say a few words. We have a Community Spirit Award I'm going to be giving out. So it's going to be a wonderful morning, and would just appreciate any and all that would like to attend. And so with that, we will move to our Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah. I had to miss the first time in probably 30 years the West Garden Grove Little League parade this year. I was in the Caribbean on a cruise ship, so unfortunately a little scheduling conflict, but I hear it was a good time. I'm glad that most of you were able to make it, and I'll be there next year. We have had an increase of tagging in D1. A couple nights ago, got really bad, going out and tagging all over the place. So I'd like to see if we could get some focused enforcement over there, and maybe Public Works to motivate themselves to go out there with the graffiti removal and get that cleaned up as quickly as possible. I had it's sad. I want to thank everybody for all the texts and stuff. My mom passed away last week. We knew she was doing bad. She finally passed. So anyway, I do appreciate all the emails and texts and whatnot of support. We'll be doing a service for her, probably a private service in Fresno. So anyway, thank you very much for all your sympathy cards and whatnot. With that being said, last week was also my daughter's 30th birthday. So happy birthday to Julie. And that's all I have.
George, we're sorry about your mom. You've been in all of our prayers. We know that's a tough one.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to express my deep condolence to your loss. That's a big loss. I lost my mom long time ago, but I feel it. So I hope you feel better. To report for last few weeks was very exciting. There's so many events as New Year is here. So last week we did participate in West Garden Grove Youth Baseball Parade. I and Councilwoman Ariana and Jacinia was there, and it was robust. We have such a vibrant resident. They love it. So we all have fun. Yes. Also, we participate in Garden Grove Employee Award. We're so proud of our employees, and congratulations. Also, this is my second year to be voted as an executive officer at the Orange County Public Library. Yeah. So I would like to go through a little bit about the report about the OC Public Library. For review for the last year, we empower education for students and community with 29 branches and 1.65 million participants. Right. And we have 6.6 million books borrowed, 4 million ebook and audio books, 8% increase in children's program. Looking forward for 2026, we're going to complete remodel, as you were talking about the repairing innovation library. We're going to complete on by 2026. Yeah. And we're going to expand the library accessory. Well, we have some money funding for it. We'll provide, best of all, we'll provide summer library and lunches at our local library. There you go. We're going to modernize automatic system for the return book at all the library. That means that everybody can drop a library, at any library that you borrow a book, and we can process it. And we also have automate machine that actually categorize all the books that we don't have to do manually anymore. Yeah, that is awesome. I watched that and I visit the machine area, and it was awesome. There's many things that I'm going to just go through real fast because I don't want to take too much time. Also want to thank Congressman Derek Tran for visit our new Garden Grove Police building, which That's going to be our highlight this year. And today, we, with Mayor, our honor Mayor, Griffin Stein, and all the council member was at the Pioneer Park to celebrate the installation. What's that installation? The sign, yeah, installation as our park, at Pioneer Park. It was beautiful. It was done by our carpenter union. We attend council review, was done by Jan Birkin, and we have a chance to have OCFA representation. We have by Chief Covey. We have Garden Grove PD Chief Farah do representation, and we have a chance to sit together and review what we have done, and also planning for what we're going to do next year. I mean this year, 2026. Last of all, I would like to say Happy New Year to all our residents. First of all, I would like to sincerely thanks to all my constituents who has been supporting me to complete all my tasks in order to service for our community. I wish all you happiness, healthy, and many luck 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm just going to sum up a few things. First off, I want to congratulate my hometown, Seattle, for the big Super Bowl win of the Seahawks and all the Dovins back home.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and hopefully you will be marching in the parades and celebrating the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl victory. In Seattle, they have the concept of the 12th man. Not actually on the football court, but the 12th man is the fan and is a full partner of the team. We see a lot of 12th men here tonight. That's our public. That's people who are rooting for us to pass the right ordinances, and we're legislative bodies. We need to play as a team with our public. I want to thank all of the people who took time to email. Not just this week or this meeting, but throughout the year and throughout the time I've been on the dais, I've benefited a lot from the feedback that the 12th man, the public, has provided us, because without them, who are we legislating for? So we have to keep in the back of our mind, who do we work for? We work for the tax-paying public, and we need to be fair and equitable. I'm not about to take away somebody's rights that I cannot restore. Nor will I penalize the small businesses, of which we need as a revenue stream. We have a shrinking revenue stream because we have a shrinking business base. I'm extremely sensitive to that because we just came out of a budget retreat where at the top of our agenda is how do we pay for everything. And we have our Director of Finance here today, Patricia Song. She is fully accountable to us and our public. She's completely transparent. Everything we vote on, all of the reports, is online. She has no problem with us videotaping and providing the progress that we've made at our meetings and in our retreats. And I would encourage our IT team to continue to provide as much information to the public as possible. Not that they don't have enough work to do. We are going to have to implement SB 707. We'll let City Manager report at the end what that is and how that's going to impact our city. So there's a lot of things on our plate that we need to deal with, and some people in the public tonight have spoken to that. Take care of the issues we already have before we take on new issues, new things we have to pay for. things we're going to have to work harder to deliver for our city. We have plenty to work on, plenty. One of the major projects coming to fruition in 100 days. And I would encourage that we don't just give tours to the city council members, we give the public some touring. Because you guys are paying for it. Measure O and everything that pays for this public project in Garden Grove, it belongs to everyone in this city. It doesn't belong to us, the council members. We come and go. There's a saying in Vietnamese, Quan nhất thời, dân vạn đại. The public officials come and go, but the people remain. That's who we're building for. That's who we're working for. And all of these projects, when they come to fruition, it's for the public. And it will bear the mark of Garden Grove City and all its residents that's contributed. Some of the legislation that comes before the city, ordinances in terms of resolutions and so forth, is for the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens, but it also sets a moral standard of which we don't want to take on too much because we're going to be policing morality. I'm going to push back against that because it's going to lead us to some consequences that's unintended and a lot more problems than it solves. So we don't want to be overextended, nor do we want to legislate morality. There are other jurisdictions that's doing that, and they're getting a lot of criticism for it, all the way to the federal government, or the state, or the county. This is Sparta. Oh wait, it's Garden Grove, it's not Sparta. But we are in our own rights to legislate as we please for the best of our citizen. I want to be aware of what they're doing the next city over, or at the county level, at the state level, and so on. But I don't want to be somebody's copycat, somebody's stooge, somebody's groupie. I ain't no groupie. I'm all about Garden Grove and how we legislate for our citizens. Don't tell me what they did over there and how we should do it like that. And I ain't telling other cities to do what we do either. We got a mind of our own, and so do they. Yeah, we need to understand what everybody else is doing, but we got to legislate for our city and our citizens. And if an ordinance is encumbered by lumping multiple things in one ordinance, I'd like to break it down. If it prohibits instead of restricts, I have to push back against bans. I just don't like bans. Unless it's something that's a controlled substance, comes from the Fed or from the state government, and that's a ban that the state and federal government will enforce. I'm more comfortable with that than passing our own bans that we can't enforce without a cost. There's always financial impact. So that's kind of on the worrying side. On the more positive note, I see us having a much more cohesive council than when we started out a year ago. And yeah, we don't all vote the same way, but we don't have to cyber bully each other into voting our way either. And that has happened. And some of our citizens have called out that practice. It needs to stop. I'm against bullying at all levels. And cyberbullying as an extension of bullying should not happen. Lastly, I want to update on our street naming. City manager can also report on that. I suggested Freedom, Liberty, to y'all for Trailer or some other street, and Councilwoman Cindy Tran says we can add it to Woodbury on her side of the district. Great idea. I love it. Let's do it. Additionally, we have options. Let's name another street Justice, and I will stop at that. Freedom and justice. Liberty and justice for all. That's what we pledge to every night when we have a meeting, don't we? We pledge allegiance. And we pray for liberty and justice for all. So liberty goes with justice. Let's have 2 street naming, if we may, the residents allowing, because they have a say. That's our 12th man. They will have a say in whether we get to name a street Liberty and another Justice. It's for all. It's the new year, so I want to say chúc mừng năm mới, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for giving me the honor of reading the proclamation into the record. Happy New Year of the fire horse. Just want to add that, the fire horse. But we don't have a frog as one of our zodiac sign. But yet, every year, around New Year, we have a frog that emerges as a sign of prosperity. And it's a 3-legged frog. You guys can Google that. It's a symbol of prosperity, good fortune for the new year. A 3-legged frog. Well, why not a 4-legged frog? Why not a 5-legged frog? Are the legs all there, or the legs aren't there? Are the legs half there, or the legs half gone? There's 3 legs. There's more than half. Well, the 4th leg is coming in. Because frog as a lizard, it grows back a 4th leg. Now, we may be down, but we're hobbling along just fine, and we're growing back our finances. We will be able to function strongly as a city. Even our budget is a little on the downside right now. I want to be completely transparent about that. But as a council, we're working hard to replenish our funds. And that comes from revenue streams that cannot be hurt. Whether it's small business or big business or medium-sized businesses, I am pro-business. From day one, when I ran for election, that's what I said, and that's what I've delivered. I am pro-business. And we have to give each other a fighting chance, whether we're a 3-legged frog or 4-legged frog, whether we hop along or one way or another get to where we need to go. So, happy and prosperous New Year to everyone. Chúc mừng năm mới. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to connect with our community in so many meaningful ways. During the Lunar New Year season, I was honored to share the New Year greetings at local Vietnamese media and recently attended the Santa Ana Tet Festival at Centennial Park. Where it was incredible to see everyone come together in celebration. With so many exciting events still ahead, especially the parade throughout Little Saigon, I'm really looking forward to what's coming next. That's why I choose to wear my Ao Dai today, to show my pride, my respect, and appreciation for our culture and traditions. I also recently had the honor of attending the Garden Grove Employee Service Awards, where we recognized and celebrated so many dedicated employees who have devoted years of their lives to serving our community. It was truly inspiring to hear the stories and to see the impact of their hard work and commitment. I want to sincerely thank each of the recipients for their many years of service, professionalism, and dedication. Our city is stronger because of you, and we are grateful for everything you do to make our community a better place. I also had the opportunity to attend for the first time, the West Garden Grove Youth Baseball opening ceremonies and parade. I went with my family, and we truly enjoyed all the festivities and the excitement from the players, the players, the parents, the coaches. It was wonderful to see many young athletes and families come together to celebrate the start of a new season. I also want to give a special kudos to Philip for doing such a great job addressing the crowd and representing us all as a whole. I just came back from the Pioneer Park where we had the honor of unveiling our new park sign. It was great to see another improvement that reflects the pride of our community spaces. I want to sincerely thank the Carpenters Union, along with our amazing Public Works and Parks Department for their hard work and dedication, the craftsmanship in making this project possible. Their teamwork and commitment truly showed in the finished results, and we are grateful for everything they do to keep our parks and public places looking their best for our residents. Lastly, I want to invite everyone to join us for the Valentine Day 1 through 3 mile run this Saturday. It is happening at 7 a.m. at Morning's Coffee, and there will be, and I'll be there. What better way to start out Valentine's than with a little love for your heart and your health? So come out, get your miles in, enjoy some great company, and kick off the day feeling strong and energized. Sign-ups are available on Mother Runners OC Instagram page, and we'd love to see you there. Lastly, I would also like to announce some park improvement projects that will be happening, and they're scheduled for completion by the end of the summer 2026. So the first one is Hastur Basin Park, located in 12952 Lamson Avenue, will receive a new playground surface and playground equipment, as well as a new restroom. Another one will be West Haven Park, located in 12252 West Street, will receive new restroom buildings. So I'm very excited, as both of these are in my district. So please feel free to enjoy these beautiful places that we're developing for you all. And I'm very excited for what's to come.
Well, I'm going to pick up the ball right where Yesenia left it and announce some park improvements that are also happening in District 6. As you guys might have seen in the February 9th announcement from our wonderful Community Services Department, we're also seeing some improvements that are taking place at our Jardín de los Niños in the Buena Clinton neighborhood. And this is at 12534 Keel Avenue, and that is a new playground and playground equipment. So you guys will probably be seeing some construction happening there. We're really excited. This is all part of a big bundle from a $1 million grant we received from HUD's community project funding. Really excited to see that project go underway. We've been seeing it, the different iterations and the drafts of the playgrounds and all of that over the last several months. So it's really exciting to finally see that, as they would say, breaking ground. Okay, some updates from District 6. Did several events with you guys through the week, so I won't rehash some of those. But had the opportunity to join the wonderful students of Santiago High School at their Key Clubs. They had a Key Essentials distribution. I cannot overstate how proud I am of the Santiago High School Key Club students. They did a bunch of grant applications, and they even got grant funding from the local Kiwanis Club of Greater Garden Grove. So I'm so grateful to our local Kiwanians for contributing to our Key Club students. They put together 200 boxes of what they call Key Essentials that they distributed to families in need in our local community. They did this all on their own, and I'm so incredibly proud of them. They made an incredible impact. And I'm so excited to see what other projects that they have going on in the future. You guys did an amazing, amazing job. Also, I have some updates as your representative on the Orange County Mosquito Vector and Control District Board. I'm happy to report that this month there were no incidences of West Nile detected in any of the samples that were collected in Garden Grove, which is really, really great news, or any incidences of flea-borne typhus, only one in the county, but not in Garden Grove. So we had some rain recently. Remember to dump and drain, and also make sure to watch out with your animals and your pets outside, because flea-borne typhus is transmitted through fleas that are often carried in through our pets when they're outside. So be mindful leaving, food outside. Don't leave your pet food outside, and make sure you're treating your pets as much as possible. We want to prevent the transmission of those diseases. Okay. Also, want to make sure that that I offer in a more somber situation, make sure to also give my condolences again to George, and also to Cindy. I know that your uncle's passed away, and you were away from us for a few days. So I want to make sure to know that both of you guys, you've been in our thoughts, in our prayers, and in our hearts. So we missed you at our council retreat. I'm glad that you're back with us, and I'm gonna leave the rest with you.
Thank you. So as usual, some of the event I participate or attend, the other council member already mentioned, so I will not repeat that. Just a couple of highlights, but before I start that, last week our mayor was not well, so I actually asked her alternate. I attend the sanitary district meeting, operation meeting, and just the regular meeting, but there were a couple of things that I want to bring back to our city, 3 items. So first one were about the bidding process. They had approved for an all-call service, but at the end, they said instead of award to one sort, why can't we do 2 so that way one doesn't get bogged down the process, and that way the other company have opportunity to work with, within that project. So I thought that would be something that good that we could bring back to our city. Sometimes we have to make a vote on all call, and so hopefully that is something that we could use in the future. The second one is they went over the preparation for emergency. So I did ask a couple of questions related to, how do they prepare in case of like a big emergency, and that if in the past 10 years, was there any time that we have incident that we were not prepared for that? But based on the feedback, the big one, the last couple months ago in December, whatever, they said that they still at like the lowest level, and they always have 24-hour people that to prepare when they have big weather emergency coming up. So that's another one. And then the last one, which is interesting, is the rate change. Anytime when they come to raise the rate, we do not want to vote for that, right? Because we don't want our residents have to pay more. But one thing that they mentioned about the Proposition 218, they actually protect California residents from unfair or excess costs from the government to us. So there is a proposition that prevent that. They cannot charge us more than what it costs for that service. Couple other events that I attend. There was the conference Empower Women to Lead Leadership. That one actually will invite to all the council members here. I came and attend. The Treasurer Fiona Mark was there. Honorable Maria Elena Durazo, who was California Senate, were there, and other female that shared the story to empower. Just kind of that they went ahead and leave the footsteps for us to follow. So I was able to meet a couple of the people that I make the connection between them with our local school students, so that they could get some support in terms of fundraising or thing that they could help with the nonprofit group in our city. Another one is earlier we talked about the budgets. And we talk about that the transit tax decline And so we had opportunity to visit the Great Wolf Lodge. Council member Yesenia, the mayor, and myself went there, and so just brought back to the perspective that we, the council here, that vote for something that we want to make sure that it's going to help with, you know, the revenue in the future. And so the Great Wolf Lodge go to a lot of improvement, and I'm looking forward to see that in the near future, hopefully we're going to have a lot of people coming there, because when you take a look, you're going to be impressed. And just so that don't forget that we still have the special thing for Garden Grove resident when we vote up for that support to the Great Wolf. Pioneer Park, congratulations to Councilmember Yesenia. We talked about it earlier, but the one thing I want to bring back is that I also talked to them about the Carpenter Group, to like what else we could do for District 3. And so I'm looking forward to have more conversation with them to see if they could do some improvement or some sign and, you know, different things to make our park look better. I want to say, so those are the events that I went to that I want to mention, and some of the events I could attend because I was not here. One thing I want to say, my sister was driving home from my mom to her house. They both live in Garden Grove, and someone followed her, and by instant she just fell down. So when she almost in front of her house, she saw the person keep following her. So she drove around the neighborhood. The person continued to follow her. So she called our police, and she actually went to, based on the police recommendation, she went to in front of our police department right here. And the person followed her to there. And when she parked in front of the station, the person passed her. So that way she was able to capture their license plate. But the lesson learned is that there's nothing that our police could do to that person because the person didn't do anything to you, right? But my sister was all shaking because why is that the person following you? Would they have a gun or what happened? And so I just want to pass that message to the resident. When something like that happen, you could call the police, and they would recommend you to try to the police department, so that way, you know, just kind of scare the person, but there's nothing our police can do. Unless someone threatens you or saying something back to you, then they would be able to take some action. But the police were not able to come there. So earlier, Councilmember Joe mentioned about the resources and, you know, the burden, that thing that we vote, where, you know, if more thing that the police have to take care of, we're not going to be able to have all the resources to, you know, to take care of the thing like that. I visited several businesses in District 3, and the one thing still come back about the homeless issue, but the progress, I want to say thank to our public work, our code enforcement, and our staff, that at the corner of Brookhurst and Chapman, behind CVS, normally you can see a lot of trash. And because I try by there, I get used to it. I didn't see that one issue until one of our residents brought it up, and I want to say thank to that person. And now, you know, a couple of our department got that cleaned up. The business there's like, oh, how come the city is so difficult? But then they realized that that was something that they should have done. And they, even though they said that, but they were just laughing about it, and they followed that. So that is something that I just want to bring back to our residents. If you see something that's not good, that we could do better, please bring it up. Because sometimes we might not see that. And so thanks to staff for taking care of that. Coming up event, we talk about the Lunar New Year. So I invite you guys again, Golden West College, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come, we're gonna have bingo, entertainment, and red envelope. Last council meeting, council member Yesenia mentioned about the Earth Day cleanup. I was planning for 2 cleanup events in my district, and I think I'm gonna talk to other council members here. Maybe we could do, you know, like kind of a series of the cleanup, so that way we all could help and, you know, come and join, so that we don't have the overlap. So it's gonna be the Earth Day that, you know, go to district. And then the second cleanup would be Garden Grove Park, and I know that our staff been working with different groups to see that if we could do that together. Mayor mentioned about the breakfast. I would love to support and maybe bring some item for the raffle or something like that. And of course, want to say, send a condolences to your mom that she passed away. And then earlier, council member Philip mentioned about the library. I know that in the past, I used to be the person and the library, not just doing, books. They also look into the library for equipment. And also they provide lunch during summertime. And I went and support before. So for the resident out there, summertime, that would be when, the kid out of school and you would be able to go there and get meal. Before I end the note for myself, I just want to mention my uncle who is my dad's older brother. And he was a priest for 50 years, serving order. And he passed away 3 days ago, and his funeral was yesterday. And there were more than 200 priests and 3 bishops, and so many parishioners was there. So I just want to take the opportunity to say thanks to everybody for your support. For the closing remark, this is for another relative who live in Garden Grove. So with your permission, I'm going to read this. Bác Nhân, born 1959 in Phan Thiết, Vietnam, immigrated to the United States as a refugee, arriving at Fort Indiantown Gap, PA in 1975. After settling briefly in Locust Valley, New York, and New Orleans, Louisiana, he moved to Garden Grove, California in 1978. Despite limited English upon arrival, he dedicated his life to serving others at the refugee camp and helping out newly arrived refugees in the U.S. with social service. In 1979, he married and have 6 children, all while active serving the Catholic community, including the Vietnamese Eucharistic Youth Movement, Liên Minh Thánh Tâm, and Kusilo. A devoted leader and chairman at St. Callistus Church, he always put order before himself. Following his wife passing 7 years ago, he continued his life to faith and compassion. Bác Nhân passed away on January 13, 2026, leaving behind a legacy of service, faith, and love, survived by his 6 children, 3 daughters-in-law, 2 sons-in-law, and 6 grandchildren. 7 siblings that include his brother, Father Joseph Luân, at St. Columban Church. Thank you for serving order before yourself. Rest in peace, Bác Nhân. That's it.
Thank you. Well, finally, I just want to wish everyone a very happy Lunar New Year. Tuesday, I believe it is the 17th. And so I know there's going to be a lot of celebrations in the community, a lot more to come, one of which is our beautiful Flower Street that will be happening this weekend, the 13th through the 15th. And I believe our city manager is going to share a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Yes, it is Tet, and happy Lunar New Year to everyone and to our community. And coming up this weekend, we will be celebrating our Flower Street on Historic Main. It begins on Friday and will conclude on Sunday. And there will be opening ceremonies that will take place on Saturday at 10 o'clock. All of our community members, our residents, and just family, just join us for wonderful art and really just embracing time with family. There's a couple more things I wanted to highlight with the council. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for bringing up e-bikes. I will touch base with Chief Alfaro and we'll bring back the data and some information as to some education efforts that are currently underway with GGPD and our community as it relates to e-bikes.
Thank you.
And then touching base on Councilmember Dovin relating to SB 707. This is a new piece of legislation that went into effect this year. Some additional changes to our Brown Act that will come into effect this July. That includes expanded hybrid access via two-way teleconferencing during our meetings. In addition, we'll be translating our agendas as well as coming back to the council in May with some additional procedural recommended changes as well. And then just touching base on the Councilmember Dovin relating to the street name change. At our next council meeting, staff will bring back information with options and for council discussion and direction at that time. And I think that's all I have. So thank you so much, council.
City Attorney?
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Very good, thank you. All right, with that, we stand adjourned.